The honorable member can't wear a cap inside the house.
Yeah, we are still coming to that.
No, you're already questioning him with the cap inside the house. Well, that's where we should have started.
Yes,
I'm under the impression that I'm not an honorable member when I sit here, Chair. I'm but a witness.
Honorable Adams, you are still under oath, isn't it?
If I'm instructed by the benevolent Chair to remove the hat, I will do so.
Yeah, listen to me, you are still under oath, isn't it?
Yes, Chairperson, I am.
And you are appearing before us as a witness, isn't it?
Yes, Chairperson, I am.
And that does not take away the fact that you have been sworn in as a member of this National Assembly on the 14th of June, 2024, isn't it?
So just to confirm, Chairperson, the reason I did not argue the point raised by Honorable Nombalo was because he's an attorney and I'm not. It was made clear to me that when I sit here on this side of the table, I am not an honorable member of this house. But for the sake of argument and time, Chairperson, I will remove that. That is part of an anti-bullying campaign. Thank you, Chairperson.
It's not for the sake of avoiding arguments or for the sake of progress. The people that you brought here, when you introduced them the last time you appeared before us, you said these are the people who are your family relatives, and some of them are members of your party, isn't it?
They are all members of this party, Chair.
Yes. So you carry that heavy responsibility and obligation to represent them to their satisfaction.
I am in no way arguing with the Chairperson. I was just stating the facts that were said in the last meeting. But thank you, Chairperson. The point is taken in good spirit. Thank you.
Yeah. Honorable members, Honorable Adams, our witness is here. And let me also greet the South Africans who have accompanied you here, who at all times give you their unconditional support. We want to thank you so much for your presence. Can I check honorable members who want to ask Honorable Adams questions? I see Honorable Vessels, Honorable Cloper, Honorable Kolabanat, Honorable Sols, Honorable Matthews, Honorable James, Honorable Ngango, Honorable Ngola, Honorable Sangoni, Honorable Skosan. Your hand is not up, Honorable Sokanyila. Your hand is not up, Honorable Nombalo.
I'm giving my time to Honorable.
Yeah, you have to raise your hand so that we recognize you and allocate your time.
Okay.
And then when we have allocated you, you can give it to Honorable Skosana. So because if you don't raise the hand, you are going to forfeit.
No problem. My
Okay.
hand is up.
Can I check? Can I check honorable members from the ANC? How many minutes do you need?
2 minutes. 2.
Okay, together 30 minutes, Chair.
You need 30 minutes combined.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Honorable members from the MKP. $30 minutes combined. Okay. Honorable members from the Democratic Alliance.
Thank you, Chair. 2020.
You need 2020. You mean 40 minutes combined. Okay. Honorable Vessels.
Chair, I think 10 minutes will suffice.
10 minutes will be fine with you. Honorable Ngango.
20.
20.
Thank you.
Honorable Matthews.
20, Chair.
for both.
So it's 40 minutes.
Mm-mm.
Or
For EFF.
combined.
Mhm.
Honorable Souls,
30.
you need 30 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's now 3 minutes after 20 hours. So by 9 o'clock, the ANC.
Chair,
Oh, Honorable James,
again,
yes.
forget about me.
How much time do you need, my dear?
Thank you. 20 minutes, please.
20 minutes.
Thank you.
Yes, by 9 o'clock, the speakers from the MKP and the ANC should be done. Hello, Honorable Noble.
I'm saying, Chair, within these 30 minutes, Honorable Souls must tell us how much is for preaching, how much is for motivation, and how much is for questions.
Yeah, and you,
Chairperson.
before, I mean, let me prepare the honorable members to also be ready to say hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Yes. You see, when you come to experiences of spiritual things,
Yeah,
time doesn't matter.
it does, no, I agree 100% with you.
Nomvalo, Honorable Nomvalo must just release. He must
That
just-
is spiritual food,
Yes.
reinvigorating.
In my time.
Yes,
Yeah?
yeah,
Yeah, so I hope he's answered now.
yeah. Are you starting, Honorable Ngola? You can start.
Thank you very much, Chair.
It's
Good
now 5 minutes past 8.
good evening, Mr. Adams, and welcome back. Look, there is no doubt that what you experienced is something so unprecedented. It's something that we have never heard of. It's actually shocking. That's why you say at first, sorry, at first you didn't even know what to do with the information. And there is no doubt that it's something you're going to remember for the rest of your life. How come you forget the date when it happened?
Honorable member, it's a real pity my wife is not here tonight. Because she could tell you I forget my children's birthdays, and there are days I walk around in the house and then they tell me, do you know it's your birthday today? I'm terrible with dates. I'm terrible with small details. I do understand where you're going, but trust me when I tell you in all honesty, I do not remember the date.
I'm sure you sometimes even forget your birthday.
I actually forget my birthday every year.
Okay, now let's take you to paragraph 9 and paragraph 8. In your statement, yes. So you say in paragraph 8 that you decided to hand over the information to SAPS. But to paragraph 9, on paragraph 9, you say you decided not to hand over the evidence. But later in your statement also, you would have handed over the information to someone from the state security agency. It's quite confusing from where I'm seated. To whom was the information handed over?
Chief, initially, when I walked to the police station, I walked from Parliament, I thought to myself, I'm not going to hand these documents to the constable or the sergeant or whoever is going to take the case. Because one of it is marked top secret. Thinking to myself, I'm going to give it to the investigating officer when he contacts me, so we can shorten the line of people that know what's in this docket. But then, when I was tipped off to the fact that my dockets had gone missing, I decided I wasn't going to give it to SAPS. I was going to, well, not right then, but when the IG contacted me, when the IGI contacted me, I decided this is where my information is going to go. And I must tell you, in all honesty, it wasn't because I thought or knew that this was the right place to leave the documents. It was just, I literally wanted these documents off my hands, but I didn't want to give it to just anybody, if you follow me.
Okay, now you get this information and you rightfully say that you got confused to an extent you did not know how to handle this information. And with a possibility that this information may also be fraudulent. So when did you decide that it's an authentic report?
I didn't. Remember, I handed it to the IGI for further investigation because I had this feeling in the back of my mind, man, that somebody wants me to run to the newspapers with this. And I'm thinking to myself, but what if it's fraudulent? What if it ends up with egg all over my face? For this reason, I kept it quiet at the time.
So you have got your friend Lincoln. Is it Lincoln? Your friend?
Andre Lincoln, Major General Andre
Yeah.
Lincoln.
Was he working in the Western Cape or the Cape Town Central Police Station?
I actually would not be able to tell you. What I can confirm is he was the first head of the AGU. He was a very bitter man because they had been promised the type of resources allocated to the PKTT, and then the plug was pulled. So he was very bitter towards the SAPS.
So how does he get to know when, by who, and how were your dockets collected from the police station?
I would have no clue, sir.
And you did not ask?
I did ask.
Okay, let's go to the IGI. The IGI calls you and asks you about your cases. Does he tell you how he knows that you have opened the cases?
No, sir, he does not disclose
He
that to me.
doesn't tell you. Are you people generally who called each other even before the incident?
If you had to ask me the day before who the IGI was, I wouldn't be able to tell you. We've never called each other before.
Okay. Did you know the information contained in the
You know,
reports you received from the door?
I actually wouldn't be able to answer that. But what he did say to me is, I have an interest in the cases that you've laid. My office, rather, that I think I'm quoting him. And that was it for me.
So it did not strike you that at least you must be aware whether did the IGI get your contacts? How did he get your contacts? Because in the usual course of events, he will say, I am Xola Ngola, the Inspector General of Intelligence. I got your number from Kusela Sanguni. I'm calling you in respect of this. I got a briefing from so-and-so that you would have found yourself in this situation.
I would love to encourage you, my brother, to think a little bit more of our intelligence services. They have their ways and means of extracting information, like telephones, like emails. The IGI found my number. Maybe if, like Honorable Malema is insisting he gets an opportunity to sit here in this chair, he can tell us how. It's actually, I'd actually also like to know. I don't know how we got my number. And you know what the funny thing is that I don't think I was using the state-sanctioned WhatsApp at the time. I wasn't using the phone that was given to us. So that's actually quite an interesting question.
You're not using the Parliament one?
No, I don't use that for WhatsApp because I'm told that those things are hackable.
Do you know why the IGI was suspended by the president?
No, maybe the president will tell us.
You are not aware?
I'm not aware
of why he was suspended. Now, you receive a call from a lieutenant colonel checking you about your cases and wanting to meet you. So you say you successfully avoided meeting him because you were suspicious. So maybe you can, because in the paragraph you don't specify why were you suspicious of this police officer. And you say you were later vindicated. How were you vindicated?
So I've laid charges. The dockets are collected. We've now established that it was in a safe somewhere. So there was no intention from the SAPS to investigate. So now a lieutenant colonel calls me telling me he's going to investigate. Now, why I felt vindicated is because according to the SAPS structure, a lieutenant colonel does not investigate a general. So even if this guy was a genuine lieutenant colonel, he didn't have the authority to conduct an investigation. And for this reason, whenever he called me, I just palmed him off politely. No, man, I'm in Joburg. I'm sorry, I'm stuck in committee all week. And I just gave him, because he called a few times. I just gave him an excuse every time until he went away.
Okay. I've never seen a grabber. At what times does a grabber become redundant? What did you actually mean?
You know, technology is a very funny thing. It evolves consistently.
Yeah.
Like an iPhone 6
Mm.
is no longer in use because it's obsolete. So the grabber that was purchased by crime intelligence, by Dumisani Kumalo, mind you, they bought an obsolete see the construction work is coming out, obsolete grabber. They bought a 4G grabber in the 5G era. But I have a suspicion that they knowingly bought that 4G grabber. I have a suspicion that they never intended to buy something at work. Because if you look at what the rumors are that the price was so inflated, I think they just bought a grabber for the sake of buying a grabber so they could loosen some money. That is what my suspicion is, but it's not something I can confirm. Like General Mkhwanazi would say, I thought to myself.
Do you know which year was this grabber?
I actually do have the date written. It's either in my office or at home, but I do, and I can supply it to the
No,
committee.
just the year. You said you are not good with dates.
I'm terrible with dates. Terrible.
Was it not 2017?
I don't want to lie. It could be, but like I said,
was the evidence that we have here is that there was an attempt to buy a grabber by crime intelligence in 2017, but the grabber finally was not bought.
you know,
There are a lot of issues here, they say.
you know, Honorable Nolak, because I'm speaking under oath, I don't want to feed you the wrong information. So if I do have the chairperson's email, I can mail him the date first thing in the morning.
Yes,
That's okay.
please, please do. Chair, no further questions. Thank you.
Honorable Sangwan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairperson. Mr. Adams, tell me, now that you've delivered your testimony, when all is said and done, what do you want us to take out of it?
I would like for this committee to just look at the facts. Don't take my word for anything. Look at the facts that I've supplied. Look at the facts that the accusing team have supplied and make a reasonable judgment and make reasonable recommendations. But I would like this committee to understand that at the very top of the South African Police Services, there's a cabal so corrupt, it threatens all of us. All of us. Honorable Kola Barnard, who I must admit I don't have much of a liking for, but she spent 25 years in this parliament doing her best. For a man to go on national TV and accuse her almost of being part of a cartel and then offering no evidence, that was defamation under oath.
Okay, let's, sorry, I'm going to push you because of time. Let's look at these facts that you say we must look at. Now, the accusing team, I learned a new term today. I'm assuming that you and Ms. Mashale are part of the accusing team.
No, we are the accused.
Oh, are you the accused? Okay. Now that we've clarified that, Ms. Mashale says the information was not classified. You say it was classified. Which is it?
I thought parts of it were classified. Patricia wouldn't know any better because I never showed her the information. And I do think that she's trying to protect me somewhat, which you know what I love about her, but if I must tell you
How does that help us? Because you said we must look at the facts. She had exactly the same information that you had. She says it's not classified. You say it's classified. Okay, how do you know it was classified?
there was on the one document, it was written top secret.
Okay. And now I'm trying to go to the facts now. One of the criminal documents you opened related to the abuse of the Secret Service account by Lieutenant General Kumalo, who you accuse of channeling funds of the PKTT. How much did he channel or siphon, or whatever the word is, and how did he do this?
You know, honorable member, if you look at the 2021 uprising in KZN, when General Mkhwanazi and then Minister of Defense, I forget her name now.
Nosiviwe Ngakula?
There we go. They were having a hell of a spat, and it was ugly and it was public. And General Mkhwanazi accuses her of staying at a 5-star hotel
Honorable Abrams, my question is.
No, no,
you
I'm getting to
accuse
it.
General Kumalo of siphoning funds.
I'm getting to it.
Mhm.
Then the general accuses a whole minister of staying at a five-star hotel as if it's illegal. But the PKTT is staying at five-star hotels. And I'm telling you that this is one of the ways where they're siphoning money. So if you're asking me for a total, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a forensic examiner. I'm not even an investigator. I'm asking this committee to look at it. I'm asking the committee to summons the ledgers.
Okay, you
of-
can
of-
assist us with evidence that they were staying against government regulations, I'm assuming you mean.
Yes,
Okay. Then you say the PKTT is a private service of former Minister Ele. Can you substantiate why you made that allegation?
100%. So earlier I heard testimony, it was the Raptor's testimony that the PKTT did not do the raid on Vusikat Matlala's house. The leader of that raid was in actual fact Lieutenant Colonel Kumalo from the PKTT. So I believe, and I believe that investigation will prove that the PKTT is being used by former Minister Tsele
No,
to
no,
bully
no.
people.
Mr. Adams, you've opened dockets, right? So I want to know, when you're making these allegations, what evidence are you relying on?
I never opened a docket saying that the PKTT is being used I never opened that
It's
docket.
part of the dockets which accompanied Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's affidavit, where he lists each and every single docket that you put there.
So because General Mkhwanazi says that it's a fact,
Okay, what did you then in your docket indicate?
just show
Because
me the
he's
page
in-
number, please, ma'am.
I'm not sure if you have Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi's
I do.
affidavit.
I do.
Okay, I will tell you the page number now as soon as I find it.
Somewhere. Brought quite a bit of paper with me. Just give me Mkhwanazi's document.
If you look at page 3 of 8, it's the complaint. Okay, I don't have the pagination now. I can share it with you. But he says Orlando case number, and then he writes it out. There you spoke about Major General Dondo failing a polygraph. The next one, you accused General Kumalo of the Secret Service account. The next one, you said General Kumalo was involved in a cover-up of Valeria. And then you then said General Kumalo and Major General Lushaba are utilizing funds to purchase vehicles. Now, do you have any evidence to base any of these allegations?
I don't want to delve into the merits of the case, but all the evidence that I had pertaining to those dockets were
Do
handed
you
to the
have
IG.
evidence?
I handed it all to the IG. All of it.
So you said that, and I'm quoting here, that in a civilized country, if I could find it, in a civilized country, if Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi did what he did, going around and speaking on things without evidence, it would have been dismissed or something to that effect. Why must we take you differently from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi? Because you come here and then you just say.
Don't take me differently. Take the judge who signed off on the arrest warrants differently. Because Kumalo is in court. Madondo is in court.
So you claim to have evidence of all of this?
I gave the evidence to the IG. I don't know how the IDAC got it, but what I can tell you is everybody in this room knows that General Kumalo was arrested.
Okay. On paragraph 25, you said General Mkhwanazi would have been dismissed. Oh, sorry. On paragraph 45, you say no one disagreed with the disbandment of the PKTT, and here you're referring to the Police Portfolio Committee. No one disagreed with the disbandment of the PKTT until a reason was needed to attempt to complete the capture of SAPS. What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I say, ma'am. I was in the Police Portfolio Committee. Honorable Skusana was in that committee. Honorable James was in that committee. Honorable Kola Barnard was in that committee. And the disbandment of the PKTT was read to us as a fact. General Kumalo brought the presentation. There was not one word mentioned against it by anyone, including Mkhwanazi, until they needed a reason to call a press conference. Now, please understand, when General Kumalo says that we've had one politically motivated killing in KZN this year, and therefore he essentially says the PKTT has come to the end of its life, I accept it as a fact. Mkhwanazi, on the other hand, feels different.
So are you saying that the portfolio committee, as well as these generals, then got a reason to complete the capture of SAPS? I'm confused.
Not the Portfolio Committee.
Okay.
What was the reason for the 6th of July press conference? It was according to General Mkhwanazi himself, because the National Commissioner was at the gates of prison. It was to defeat the ends of justice, if he was telling the truth. This is what I'm saying. It's about the capture of the SAPS. It had nothing to do with the PKTT. The PKTT had been agreed upon in portfolio in front of all of us that it was
So
no
you
longer
think
necessary.
Minister Mkhunu was correct to disband the PKTT?
I think that the minister may have overreached. I think he should have discussed it with the IMC, which I didn't think at the time. But I'm willing to concede that because I was in full support of the minister. However, there was no disagreement on the disbandment of the PKTT.
Okay. Do you know Mr. Cedric Ngabinde
I've met him.
before or after you wrote to the minister?
I walked into Mr. Nkabende in the road outside here. Must have been a few weeks after.
So you didn't know him before the
I
email?
never met the man before.
Okay, now on your annexures, and I do apologize, I don't have them in front of me now. Where you emailed the minister, where did you get the minister's email from? Email address?
If I don't want to lie, I'm almost sure that I got 3 emails from General Lincoln, and then he called me and told me the first one doesn't work. I think it was 3, but I think I sent it to 2 emails, I think.
Okay, so you emailed minister at 8:21, and then 4 minutes later you emailed Ngabinde. So what happened in those 2 minutes? Who did you talk to?
No. Nothing happened in between those few minutes. I got the email addresses from General Lincoln in the evening. And the morning he called me and said to me, that first email doesn't work. And then I sent to the other 2.
Okay, now why did you go to IDEC and not IPID again?
IPID is toothless and useless. How many cases have they refused to investigate? How many recommendations have they not made?
Why was this within the mandate of IDEC, according to you?
I didn't know if it was in the mandate of the IDAC. I'm testing anyone and everyone. And if IDAC didn't get back to me, I'd have mailed the FBI if I needed to, but we needed action on this thing.
But you chose not to go to IPID?
No.
Okay. So General Lincoln informed you that dockets were missing in the Western Cape. Who notified you in Gauteng?
General Lincoln again.
Oh, he also has access to Gauteng.
That man was a legend in the service.
What exactly did he do?
People respect Mr. General Lincoln for being who he was, for risking his life to fight for those of us sitting here today.
So what was his role that he could access such information?
I have no clue.
Very convenient though, Mr. Adams.
Why is it convenient now?
No, because General Lincoln is not here to give us this information, right?
I don't know if this is going to come as a surprise to you, but all of us will die. All of us.
So tell me, you said, okay, you 2 days or 3 days after you messaged the minister, you contacted IDEC. Who did you contact at IDEC and how did you get this person?
I was given the number by General Lincoln. He did not give me a name. He just gave me a number. It was a female. I did not ask for a name. I said that I need someone to contact me. I'm a member of parliament. This is my number.
Okay, you had very scathing remarks to say about General Mkhwanazi and the 21 July unrest. You said he took leave. How long was this leave?
I don't know how long paternity leave is. I've never taken paternity leave. Where I'm from, when your baby is born, you leave work, you go and check if the child has 10 fingers, 10 toes, you make sure it's got the family nose, and you go back to work. That's what I'm understood. That's how I understand it to happen.
Are you from KZN with
I'm
a
from
wife
Cape
from the
Flats.
Eastern Cape?
I'm from the Cape Flats, ma'am.
Okay, let me finish my question if you don't mind.
Yes.
General Mkhwanazi testified that his wife gave birth in KwaZulu-Natal. She is from the Eastern Cape. He drove through the night, took her home. Where we come from, that's what you do. Now he went back to work, having checked the nose the following day. Now that's why I'm asking you, when you come here and you say he took leave, what do you have that is contrary to what General Mkhwanazi said?
I'm not, you're going to have to argue with Minister Nkula, because she's the one that says that they
It's
weren't
very
available.
convenient that when you ask direct questions, somebody else is responsible for what you're saying,
If
not
I
you.
was the defense minister at the time, I'd give you a direct answer. I wasn't. She's the one that was struggling to get a hold of Mkhwanazi. And also, if he drove through the night, that was one night. The case in unrest went on for weeks.
And he
Weeks.
testified that he was there. He wasn't gone for weeks.
Ma'am,
Okay, can you direct us, and hopefully this might be my last question. Which policy says that crime intelligence buildings can only be used by crime intelligence officials?
just a second. I actually do have the documentation here with me. But there is a policy on the purchase of buildings and the use of them. I've got a lot of documents here, but I did actually bring it with me. Just give me 1 minute.
No problem.
1 second, Chairperson. Excuse me. I know I'm using your time, Honorable Member.
It's all right. We've waited long enough to have you sitting there, Honorable Aiden.
Oh, that was all the fault of management. I never ducked this committee once, only because I don't have to. Chairperson, here's quite a lengthy document explaining all of what the honorable members asked. May I give it to you so you can just hand it over to the rest of the committee? It's quite a lengthy document. If I start reading now, I'm going to use all of your time. Thank you.
Okay, and then my last question to you, you said that
Thanks, Chief.
on paragraph 25.1, under oath, General Mkhwanazi claimed he would arrest Minister Bheki Cele if he committed crime. Minutes later, he accused Mr. Cele of trying to draw him into his own wrongdoing in spite of admitting to this house, blah, blah, blah. No docket against Mr. Cele, what. So basically here, the accusation is that General Mkhwanazi is favoring Bheki Cele or protecting him, shielding him. What is this wrongdoing that you think that General Mkhwanazi should have arrested Bheki Cele for?
I wish General Mkhwanazi had told us, because he said it. He tried to draw me into his wrongdoing, and that's when I distanced myself from him, and that is a quote.
But is trying to draw somebody into wrongdoing, does it necessarily mean it's a criminal offense?
I don't know of any wrongdoing that is not criminal unless you're under 18.
Well, I don't know, because General Mkhwanazi apologized for having implicated Mr. Cele in getting money somewhere. Now you are expecting a document to be opened and you put this in your statement. Document for what? Because that would be a crime that you're alleging.
If I am the Provincial Commissioner of KZN and I'm accusing the minister, a whole minister of wrongdoing, it will be in a written grievance or case number.
Or it could be a boys' trip, like he was telling us that they took boys' trips. Would that not be wrongdoing?
Maybe then
How do you come to the conclusion?
Maybe then the general
It should be a cry.
Maybe then the general should clarify that.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair. I'm done. Thank you, Honorable
Thank you,
Adams.
Honourable Member.
Yali.
Oh, thank you, Chair.
Chairperson, Honourable Nwala said he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, no, I will only ask 4 questions.
Tell General Mkhwanazi I say hello.
Let's go to paragraph 14 of your statement.
Paragraph
14,
14.
yeah.
Yes, Chief.
You are saying it is deeply frustrating because if the committee had been allowed to do its job, many of these issues could have been resolved. Which committee are we talking about?
The
here?
Police Portfolio Committee, Honourable Member.
So it has not been allowed to do its job.
I was blocked. I have tried to get truth out of these generals, and there was no assistance from the management of the committee.
You tried to do what?
I tried to get answers out of these people, out of General Masimola in particular, and it just wasn't allowed.
Answers about what?
The hotels, the cell phone grabbers, the security
So that is
clearances.
after you opened the case, right?
Yes, Chief.
So was it necessary for them to give answers to you whilst you have opened the case? Because
No. Chief,
the matters you were asking about were under investigation.
I think you have a fair point on the hotels, but then that didn't happen when I requested the security clearances of certain generals. When I spoke about the 100 million rand Mandrax bust, that was never reported, that no longer exists. Those were the questions I was coming at.
You know, initially I was under the impression that you were not aware that the documents that you claim to have found under your door were classified. I thought you were not aware. But you've just said when you were answering Honorable Ngola they were written top secret?
One,
One.
only one.
So why did you not take them to Parliament,
It was marked top secret.
to the committee?
No, it was marked top secret.
So when you took them to the police station, were you opening a case or you were submitting them?
No, I did not submit them.
What were you doing?
I opened the case. I was waiting for the investigating officer to contact me. Then I ran it over.
Let's go to paragraph 45. We are talking about a transgression which was endorsed by the National Commissioner.
Just hold a second, Chief, when I'm struggling with my arm, please.
And we are saying this transgression, we are calling it a transgression because we are saying it is against SAPS protocol,
It is
the media briefing.
Act 56 of, I think it's 56 of the SAPS
What
media
does-
policy.
What does it say?
It says that you're not allowed to threaten journalists, and also you're not allowed to make claims that you cannot substantiate.
So which claims were made? Which
That
were
there
not?
are political, that there are members of parliament shielding cartels,
I beg your pardon?
that there are members of parliament that are shielding cartels. It was said.
So has that not been substantiated?
No. It
What-
has not been substantiated because Mkhwanazi says so doesn't make it a fact.
No, I think you must say you don't agree with what.
No,
he
it
said.
has not
Don't-
been
don't-
substantiated,
Don't,
Chief.
don't say it has not been substantiated.
My leader, just because you agree with it, does not mean it's substantiated. No evidence was brought before.
Just because you disagree with him doesn't mean it has not been substantiated.
So we can agree to disagree.
Okay. You are saying on paragraph 32. Matlala was the cash funeral of either General Masemula or Pegitele, or both. What evidence do you have to prove this?
You know, Vusikat Maklala has essentially put himself in jail by admitting that he's given Bheki Cele a cash gratification.
And then with regards,
So,
to Masemula?
I don't believe you can separate Masemula and Bheki Cele. Because if you look at the logical points of it, like Honorable James said earlier, if you connect the dots, excuse me. Vusikat Matlala received this tender. The National Commissioner has admitted that he was aware of the process, but he didn't stop it.
Of which process?
That Vusikat Matlala was about to receive the tender. He's admitted it.
No, but I'm asking evidence here because we are
I'm-
making.
Chief, I'm connecting the dots for you. Why is it okay that Senthumule can connect dots, but Fadiel
those
Adams not?
dots are invisible.
No, Chief. No,
I
Chief.
don't see any dots here.
No, Chief.
They are only
Why?
seen by you. Which dots are you talking about?
Chairperson,
Yeah, I'm
hold on,
asking
I'm
for
speaking to the
evidence.
chairperson. May I speak to the chairperson? Chairperson, I'm going to ask that I be treated as every witness before me. The witness before me was allowed to connect the dots. I was sitting right there. The person who brought us here said, in my thoughts, in my
No,
opinion.
but-
Now I'm connecting the dots for this honorable member and I'm asking that you allow me to do it.
No,
please.
but dots can't be imaginary.
What?
I'm
dot?
talking
Am I
about-
imagining the fact
No,
that
no,
Vusikat
I'm
Matlala received a
talking about
360 million rand
evidence.
tender?
Which
Am I
evidence?
imagining that?
Which
Am
evidence?
I imagining that he got 50 million ran out of the SAPS?
Which
Am I imagining
evidence?
this?
No.
Am I imagining the fact that Masimola is the accounting officer for the SAPS?
Yeah, calm down, then I'll ask.
So
you
you've got the dots. I'll calm down now.
Calm
Thank you.
down, then I'll ask you questions. I'm asking you about evidence. Which evidence do you have which suggests that Masemula benefited
answer you this way.
unduly from Mr.
Let
Matlala?
me answer you this way. If Masimola does not receive a gratification, why doesn't he stop this madness?
Why doesn't he?
Why doesn't he stop this madness? Why doesn't he stop the tender or the payments? Why does he allow it to flow?
No, I'm not saying you must guess here and ask
I'm
me
asking you a
questions.
question, Chief. I'm
I'm
not
saying,
guessing.
do you have evidence?
I've just given you the evidence.
But do you have evidence?
Okay, I'll tell you what, Chief. Let me concede the fact that I wasn't an eyewitness. But then let me ask this portfolio
So
to
you don't have, except
Can I
these dots,
finish?
except these dots that
Honorable
you are talking
Navalo, can
about.
I finish? Can the witness talk?
The person, you can pass the mic to Honorable Skosana, thank you.
Only-
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Adams.
Good evening to you, Honorable Leader.
Madam, you testified that you found an envelope containing documents alleged exposing criminal activity within crime intelligence that has been slipped under your office in I think I'm not sure whether there's a carpet there. But I guess that we can get a footage who has put those envelopes there, because in our offices, there's CCTV cameras there, am I right?
There's a camera in the passage there. And I would have thought that state security would have looked at that already.
Yeah, the chair, I think that's the first thing we should do. That we must, exactly get who put that envelope under the office of Mr. Adams. I think the secretary will have that for us. Can you tell the committee who authored those documents and how they were anticipated or verified, and why you accepted them as credible evidence before you open a criminal case?
Honorable Skosana, for the sake of time, I'm just going to refer to my previous testimony that I had no idea if these things were credible or authentic. I don't know who put it together. That is why I decided to hand it over to the right investigating body.
Yeah, but before you do that, you look at them, am I right?
I did it.
Now, before you open a case, I mean, you can't just take a document because somebody said Honorable Nombalo and Honorable Skosana have shot someone outside there, then you go to the police, am I right?
Yes, you can.
You'll apply your mind.
Yes, you can. It's up to the NPA to decide it is a case. That's why you open the docket.
Now,
I'll walk you through the process if you want me to.
No, I understand that. I
But
understand
then
very well.
But then, honorable member, don't tell me I can't do it.
No, I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying that if people brings envelopes in your office every day, are you going to open cases every day?
Yes, all day.
Okay. You indicated that you did not initially hand over the documents when opening the cases because you feared the information was classified. Why were you fearing the information was classified?
There was one document that was written top secret and it looked official.
Well, was it outside the envelope?
No, it was inside the envelope.
So you opened the envelope?
Yes, I opened it. I had to read it. I mean, how else am I going to know what's in there?
Yeah. Now, hence I'm asking you, you said you feared, you were afraid of looking at this document. Am I right? It's in your statement anyway.
Honorable Skosana, I am from Lavendale 7945. We are afraid of nothing.
Yeah,
I opened the thing and I feared that it might be false.
You feared that it might be false. Now, can you explain where those documents were stored and who had access to them, and whether there were verifiable chain of custody existed for the committee to assess their integrity? Talking about the committee.
I'm sorry, my brother. I can't explain because I have no idea where they came from. I don't know. There's a part of me that says I can't be the only member of this house that received those documents. Because we're a two-seat party. And I'm sure that somebody slipped that documents to many, many people. Yeah, I'm just sure nobody else. Can I finish, please?
Yeah, because
you asked me a question. Can I finish, please?
Yeah,
please.
You responded already.
I'm just telling you that I think I was the only one foolish enough to see this thing through.
Now, you rely on the advice from the late General Lincoln regarding the handling of these allegations. Am I right?
If I did not take the advice of Honorable Lincoln, I would probably be in jail for sharing classified information.
When was that? On which month did you spoke to General Lincoln?
It was in the same week that I got, I think it was a day or two after.
No, when? Which month is it?
I think it was in October. It is somewhere. If you want me to search, I can, but I don't want to use your time.
October when?
Just give me 1 second, please, Chief. I do not want to perjure myself. Just please. My hidden dates, we are not the best of friends. Can you just find me the first page, please, man? Please. I'll give you the date if you want to keep going, Honorable Skosana.
I'll wait for you. Because that's where the matter is now.
First page. Sorry, man. Don't you have my statement as well? Oh, yeah, I got it. Sorry. I'm sorry, I gave her the wrong documentation. It was in the last week of October.
Which year?
In 2024, sir.
2024, am I right? Now, and when did you open the case?
The case numbers will give me the dates. I can share that with you. Have you got the case numbers there? Thank you. I'm looking for the case numbers. I've got it here. I didn't expect.
Okay, why you are busy? It's fine because of time. Did General Lincoln personally review the documents you received, and did he provide any written advice or corroborating evidence that supports the seriousness of these allegations?
I told General Lincoln what the documents were about, and he asked me if there was top secret in any of them, and I said yes, and he said, then don't show it to me. You'll get into trouble for that.
But you're in trouble already because you look at them as well.
I'm in trouble for receiving it.
No, I'm saying, you say, no, receiving is something else. You look at those documents, am I right?
I opened the envelope, yeah. That's what
So
we
you
do.
look at them.
So if you get an envelope in your
No,
office, you're not opening it.
No, I'm asking.
No,
I'm
I'm
saying
asking.
he said to you.
No,
But you can't ask me. Remember,
Chief,
I'm the one who's
if
asking you.
I'm expecting you to be reasonable, but you're not.
I'm
saying
very
to you,
reasonable to
I'm
you.
saying to you, if you find an envelope on your desk, you're not opening it. So you're not doing your job.
No. I'm saying to you, you say General Lincoln said you should not look at those.
He said to me, don't show me the documents.
Right. Now, you testify that after being warned, the first docket might be suppressed. You open a similar case at Orlando and Laklachte police station. Why were you opening cases in 2 different police stations?
Because
In fact, it's 3. It's not even
3.
2.
So,
Yes.
so what happens is what happens is that when my dockets are collected here at Grand Central, I decide to make it hard for someone.
Who was that
Whoever.
someone?
Well, right now it looks like Lieutenant General Peter Jacobs.
Yeah, but do you have evidence that is Peter J. Jacobs?
The evidence I'm relying on is General Senthumule, who spoke before me.
No. I'm asking you that.
Nowhere in my
Remember when you open a case, you can't say the evidence is me.
Chief, nowhere in my statement do I allege that General Peter Jacobs collected my documents. I say my documents were collected.
Yeah, but my question is, did you have evidence on what you are alleging? I'm asking you why you went to 3 police stations.
And if you'll allow
and let me just finish by saying to you, perhaps you can clarify these 3 dockets, whether they were identical and whether you inform investigators in Gauteng that the duplicate cases has already been opened in the Western Cape.
the documents were not identical. The reason I went to different police stations was just in case somebody was collecting my dockets again, I'd make it harder for them. And none of them were duplications. And no, I did not tell the police in Gauteng that the dockets were collected in Cape Town. I felt it was none of their business.
Now, you suggest that SAPS official attempted to suppress the dockets by diverting them to provincial office. What documentary proof or official records do you have that shows the removal of those dockets was procedural or irregular or part of a deliberate cover-up?
I am not an investigator. A man who I trust with my children's lives told me my documents were collected. That was good enough for me. What has since transpired, especially on the sworn statement of General Senthumule, was that my documents were in fact, actual fact collected, and that it was found to be with Lieutenant General Peter Jacobs. Now, I'm not saying she's right. I'm saying this is her testimony.
Yeah, but now I need your testimony now, Honorable Adams. You testify that you met Inspector General of Intelligence and handed the information to Advocate Governor, am I right?
Yes, sir.
So you had copies of this document. You opened cases, then you went again to the Inspector General.
If you listened to my statement now the other night, I did not hand any information to the police. The copy that I had, I gave it to the IG.
So when you opened the case, you just opened cases in those.
I just gave a statement, a sketch of what
Yeah.
was of what had happened, and that I wanted further investigation.
But because you were afraid of something, what were you afraid of?
A few things: my life, the documents disappearing, the suppression of the case, further cover-ups. I can go
Yeah,
on.
but why then do you open a case if you are afraid of dockets will go missing?
What are my options, Honorable Skusana?
No, I'm asking
The only
you.
place I can open where I can get a case number and have something investigated is with the SAPS. I can't have it done from Parliament.
Yeah.
I can't have it done from the hospital. I can't have it done from the civic.
True, I
Everybody-
understand that.
Can I finish?
Yeah, I understand that.
Everybody's asking this question, but nobody's telling me you should have done that.
No, I'm saying to you, remember, you don't trust the police, am I right?
Not at all.
But you still went to the police station to open cases in the police station, am I right?
I know people that don't like the day hospital, but they have to go and get their tablets there. I don't trust the police, but I needed a case number.
Yeah, now,
Am I right?
or you only needed a case number, not the matter to be investigated.
I wanted the thing on record.
Yeah,
that's
so
what I want.
That's what I'm saying.
Chief, my statement requires further investigation.
Yeah.
So,
Now-
so what I'm asking for is further investigation, as long as I'm in possession of a case number. So if they hijack, I can move against it.
Now, you made an allegation against General Khumalo that his testimony relied on the material generated by, what do you call it?
AI.
ChatGPT. Yeah. Do you have evidence of that?
If you read his testimony and read what AI gives you, it's virtually identical. But I'm glad you bring up General Khumalo, Chairperson, because I would like to retract my retraction now the other night. General Khumalo was in actual fact the head of crime intelligence KZN at the time of the KZN uprisings, Honorable Skusana.
No,
Because-
and I understand
No,
that.
no, no. Can I
But
finish?
I'm asking about the,
No,
the
just because
evidence.
you just triggered something. You asked me
Yeah.
to retract. I retracted. I retracted wrongly. He was the head of intelligence KZN.
Yes.
He was the reason for the failure of intelligence that led to the deaths of 300 people. But back to the point again.
Sorry, can you, I beg your pardon? You said for the failure of?
He was the reason intelligence failed KZN with the 2021 uprisings.
Do you have evidence of that?
The Human Rights Commission will tell you. I've got the report here if you want it.
Yeah, no.
Brilliant. I'll give it to you right now.
No, listen to me. We all knows the report from all our state institutions, whether it's Human Rights Commission, but I'm saying, you are saying to us today that the person who's responsible for the upheavals of the July 2021 is General Khumalo.
Chief, that's not me saying it's the Human Rights Commission making a finding.
I'm asking you now, because I'm talking to you. Human Rights Commission will call them at the right time if we
Honorable
need to.
Skusana,
I'm just asking you to
Honorable
say,
Skusana,
are you saying?
let me help you. You're
Yes.
asking me for evidence. I'm saying here's the Human Rights Commission report. That's
So-
evidence.
So
that
it
is evidence.
entirely on John.
That is
Khumalo.
evidence admissible in court. You don't need to like it, but that is a fact.
No, I'm not saying I don't like it. I'm just asking you to say, are you saying today that because the Human Rights Commission says that in one of, not necessarily in one of the, you are saying it's General Khumalo who is responsible for July 21 unrest.
I'm
Am I
not
right?
saying he's responsible for the unrest. I'm saying he's responsible for the failure of intelligence.
The failure of the intelligence.
Yes.
And General Mkhwanazi, you said because he was on leave.
Man goes on leave while his province is burning, so there's nothing I can do about that.
No, I'm saying we are blaming him as well for him to be on leave.
I'm telling you the man went on leave, sir. I'm telling you that any man who would have stood by the hospital window and watched his province burn should have been fired.
So I'm asking you, it's not about sentiments here. I'm asking you a simple question. Are you saying it was wrong for General Mkhwanazi to be on leave because they are banning Spar supermarket or they are banning a stadium or whatever?
Because 150,000 people lost their jobs and 300 people lost their lives. He shouldn't have been on leave.
Let me say to you, if he was in, those people would have been alive today.
We could have saved lives.
I'm asking you.
We
now.
could have saved lives.
Yeah.
The troops work best when the general is
let me
there.
ask you, Mr. Adams.
I'm not saying that 300 people wouldn't have died. I'm saying we could have saved 1 life, 10 lives, 15 lives, who knows?
Yeah, but remember, those culprits, if I may ask you, are those culprits being arrested as we speak here?
You know, this is something that I feel very passionately about because the 300 people killed during the KZN riots, those were politically motivated deaths. And the PKTT is not investigating that.
No.
So you are asking the wrong
No.
person if the culprits are being arrested.
No. Some others is not politically, as you say. It was thugs. Thugs who killed, I don't know if you want to mention their name because you know them in a particular suburb. They've maimed people going, passing the door, innocent people, you know that.
Honorable Skosana, the Human Rights Commission says it was politically motivated, and I take their word over yours. Are we okay
No,
with
no,
that?
but let me tell you,
Are we okay
the
with that?
fountain of wisdom is not only human rights commission in this country. We have many institutions here. We've got parliament as well.
Chief,
We need to probe that. We can't say because Human Rights Commission said so, then we are closing our eyes.
I will welcome you, Chief, if you start probing it, but that's what I have before me right now. That is a finding, that is accepted, and that's what I'm going with.
Yeah, now, you criticize the SAPS leadership for failing to name cartels operating in South Africa. Can you provide the committee with an independent intelligence report, case files, or investigating finding confirming the existence of such cartels that SAPS allegedly ignored?
Can I answer you like this? At the press conference, the cartels was the headline. At the ad hoc committee, there was no information on the cartels. You can't ask me.
Why are you saying it was
Can I finish?
headlines?
Can I finish?
Yeah, but don't.
Can I qualify my answer?
Yeah, okay.
Honorable Skosana, this can't work, my brother, man. Please, if
Yeah,
you
but
ask me a
don't
question-
mislead us, please, because when you say headlines on the July 16 about cartels,
The most striking part of that July 6th press conference was the cartels.
yeah, but that's for you. For me, it was not, and for other people, it's
Okay,
not.
Let me retract.
Cartels.
Let me retract.
Yeah.
But at the July 6th press conference, it was about cartels and the existence of cartels and the politicians protecting cartels. And at the ad hoc committee, it was no, we've got no evidence of this.
Yeah,
Then they name a thug. Vusikat Matlala is a thug as a cartel boss.
No,
But
yeah.
they've got no proof of that either.
yeah,
So,
but-
so you, Honorable Skosana,
Yeah,
you
but-
cannot ask me for the evidence of cartels if the head of intelligence can't provide you evidence of cartels.
Yeah.
He's the one sitting with a R1 billion budget, not
yeah,
me.
Yeah, but listen to me, Mr. Adams. If you have evidence is not information. Information is not evidence. We are giving me information. That's not evidence. There's a huge difference between evidence and you said there's facts. And I'm saying to you, isn't correct for you that you have facts.
Any-
It's facts for yourself. You cannot be facts for all of us. We must still probe that.
Any
Do you agree?
Any investigation starts with information.
Yeah, and then now
What
are
I'm
you saying-
doing?
Are you saying to us you've got evidence?
Of cartels?
Yes?
No, I'm not the head of intelligence. Ask Dumasani Kumar.
No. Because remember, it's you said that to me. You've got evidence. Most of your things, like you said.
When did I say this to you, leader?
No, that documents which they put under your carpet, you regard it as evidence. And I'm saying it's not evidence.
I regarded that as information, therefore I laid a charge.
Yes.
I'm
So-
struggling
so
with
it's
you.
not
I'm struggling with
evidence.
you.
But do we agree that is not evidence?
What is not evidence, sir?
Those documents you have.
A judge finds that there's prima facie evidence.
I'm saying to you, I'm saying to you, we are saying the judge, I'm saying to you, is that the evidence? Because the matter is still under investigation. There's no judgment on that.
So you understand how prima facie evidence works?
I understand, yes.
Well, that's what a judge found. So the
So-
judge found enough prima facie evidence to authorize the arrest of a whole general, knowing what the implications are if it's false.
No,
Can you let that sink in?
no. Let me ask you this way, Mr. Adams. Are you blaming General Mkhwanazi to tell the country what is happening in this country? Let's start there.
Am I blaming General Mkhwanazi?
Yes, for what he has done on the 6th of July.
General Mkhwanazi played the last card available to him. He called the press conference man, and he told lies. And all
No.
and you asked me a
No,
question,
no,
let me
no,
answer.
no.
And all this was
No.
done to save his bra,
No.
Masimola, from arrest.
no.
He's admitted to that.
Who admitted to that?
General Mkhwanazi said that.
He said he was saving the national commissioner.
That's what I just said.
Where?
Chairperson, help me.
No, I'm asking you where.
Chairperson, help me. Ek is in pyn. Hier kry ek nog 'n kop.
No,
Help me.
Mr. Adams, let's not go gossip here. Because those things are maybe on the street there, not in our COCO committee where I
Mr.
sit.
Honorable Skosana, General Mkhwanazi says that he tried to save the National Commission.
No. Give us that evidence, Mr. Adams. I've never heard that.
Well, I'm happy to play it for you inside or outside, sir.
Yeah, please, if you can, if you have that, please
I will
play
find
it.
it to you. I'll send it to the chairperson.
Because for me, it's for the first time I'm hearing that.
Let me quote General Mkhwanazi for you. The National Commissioner was at the gates of prison.
Was
That's
that-
what he says.
Was what?
Am I the only person in this room that heard it?
No, you are talking to me. I'm the one who's asking you.
I'm telling you what he said, Chief. You are free to
He
dispute it.
said the president what?
He said the National Commissioner was
Yeah.
at the gates of prison. That's the reason for the press
Was
conference.
against the president.
At the gates of prison. Can I have a blackboard behind me? I want to write in big bold letters.
Oh, gates of prison. Oh my God.
No, it's not got nothing to do with God. It's got to do with fraud, corruption, and nepotism. Don't blame God for this.
Now, because of time as well,
Thank God.
you suggested that businessman Vusi, inverted commas, Matlala, because he's not yet found guilty as well. So it's still an allegation against him. Am I right?
Vusikat Matlala has been jailed for 4 years. He's a criminal.
He has been jailed for 4 years.
He was jailed for 4 years. He's admitted it.
I'm not talking about the past. I'm talking about now. The case
He's still a criminal. He's a convicted criminal. Whether you like it,
Yeah.
whether you don't.
No,
He's
no.
a convicted criminal. He's a boof. He's a scallum.
Yeah, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm talking about this matter now. I'm saying to you, you are saying Vus Matala may have acted as well as you say he's a criminal, you know, whatever.
I don't say he's a criminal. The court say he's a criminal.
But I'm
No, but
still
you must stop twisting the facts to turn your narrative
no,
here.
no.
Let's say it together. Vusi Kat Matlala is a criminal. Come work with me.
No. I'm not in a shebeen. I'm in parliament here.
But you're acting like
No. I'm not going to dance to that. I want us to have facts here.
Chief, here's the
Let us
fact.
not be.
Chief, here's the
Yeah.
fact. And your lawyer colleague next to you can confirm. Vusi Kat Matlala is a criminal.
Yeah, I'm saying to you now, to you, I'm putting this to you. What direct evidence do you possess that links the timing of that press conference to an attempt to obstruct the influence of potential criminal procedure against the National Cocoa Commissioner? I'm talking about evidence now.
The only evidence I have is the testimony of General Mkhwanazi.
Yeah,
His own words.
But do we all listen to him? Maybe you listen in the other way around.
If the evidence is there, it's on the YouTube, it's on everywhere, unless you're going to discredit Mkhwanazi himself, because that is what he said. He said it. He said it himself. He was under no duress. There was no gun to his head.
So he said the National Commissioner was on the case of the prison. Why? Did he explain on the press conference?
That is what I wanted to know from this committee, is why didn't you ask him that when you had the chance?
No. You are part and parcel of the committee.
I'm not part of this committee, Chief.
No, I'm not talking about ad hoc. He's coming back here. I'm talking about the portfolio committee. Because remember, he started there, am I right?
Yes, he was there.
Yes.
Yes, he was there.
Do you agree?
Yes, he was there.
Did you ask him there then?
No, at the time, I'm still processing what was said.
Yeah, so if I'm saying to you, we are still processing that too, yeah. What's wrong with that?
What are you processing?
What you ask me now, to say why you haven't asked him?
But he was right in front of you.
No, he's coming back here.
Well then, hallelujah.
Chair, I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Skosana. This has been fun. I'm going to, Chairperson.
Can you please retract that? It's funny, Chair, because we are not here for
It's been funny. I said it's been fun. I enjoyed it as fun. Chairperson, can I just request just a 10-second recess? I just need to grab a tablet behind me, please. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. I just need to grab a tablet behind me.
10 seconds.
Thank you.
But before you use the time that you request, can you recite those lyrics again so that Honorable...
Oh, that Vusi Kat Matlala is a criminal.
So that Honorable Kwalabanat
She better be nice to me tonight.
can also tune in. Yeah? Because I see Honorable Skosana is like me. We are used to the notes. You learn the notes, do, re, mi, fa, so.
No, we will sing it on the plane when we go to KZN tomorrow, Chairperson.
So if you just want to start without the notes.
No, Chair.
Yeah? You start with lyrics.
Chairperson, can we get back to serious business, please?
Honorable Kwalabanat, are you ready?
Thank you, Chair. I would ask that my colleague perhaps moves a little bit. I can't see the witness. Sorry.
Out.
No, not you. Thank you. I'm sorry to do this to you again.
Should I move to another chief?
No, He's very obliging. Thank you very much. Let's start with, what is your personal theory on who is leaking information generally from crime intelligence, let alone classified information, and to what end? Because there are now constant reports, weekly reports, pouring out of crime intelligence and in the newspapers and the news online.
The honest answer, Honorable Kola Barnett, is I don't know. It is a concern because if you go onto social media, there's like 7 or 8 people constantly posting sensitive things. I mean, the fact that the IGI's report has been leaked to the media, it's a concern. I don't want to mention a name without even a little bit of information because I don't really know people at crime intelligence, to be honest with you. Because General Theo, in our last discussion, that must have been 2 weeks ago, told me that this is a ticking time bomb. He said it's only a matter of time before someone gets killed because of these leaks. So it is a real concern.
Look, I agree with you in your statement that the JSCI did not exist at the stage when you received the documents. It was only constituted on the 1st of April 24. So your options were indeed very limited. And that fact meant you had to go to the SAPS or the Inspector General of Intelligence or both. So what outcomes were you looking for in terms of both of those visits?
I was just looking for justice, Honorable Kola Barnett. And I told someone, I think it was the weekend, I wish I'd thrown those documents in the bin and just forgotten about it. Because it's actually turned my life into a nightmare. There was a stage, and there's people behind me that can confirm it right now, where I would have to have armed people collect my kids at school, where I would ensure that my wife didn't walk anywhere, not even to the shop, because it was hectic. The strain on my family, for all the good that may come out of this committee, I don't know if it was worth it. I don't know. The times I had to move my family from our home because we were just concerned about the amount of cars stopping when the neighbors tell you about people stopping in front of your house, taking pictures of your home. It was a nightmare. So there's a big part of me that wishes I'd torn those documents up and just walked away. But when I look at what these people have allegedly done, I'm actually very glad that I didn't.
I'm not sure if you're aware of the 2018 high-level review panel report on state security and the state security agency known as the Mkhwanazi report, which found that excessive secrecy and the cloaking of activities under national security were used to conceal widespread criminality, corruption, and political factionalism within the South African intelligence services across the board. Now, that was released by the president in 2019 and provided a damning indictment of the agency's operations. It seems you're claiming or agreeing that exactly the same thing is happening in crime intelligence, using secrecy to cloak criminality.
I wasn't aware of the report, Honorable Kola Barnett, but it does not surprise with me.
Not a secret
It's not,
report, it's
but,
out there.
but I hadn't read it, but it doesn't surprise me. And I'm 100% in agreement in what was said, because it does appear as if there are people at crime intelligence and at SAPS as a whole who see the funds from crime intelligence as their own personal ATM.
Now, this committee is looking at possible criminality within our security services. Now, what you've raised here speaks precisely to that. I've never seen classified documents outside of the JSCI, so it's a mystery how you came by them. I don't know who leaked them to you, put them to you, shoved them under a door, whatever they did with them. So you spoke to the information about properties purchased by crime intelligence, which now seems to be endlessly reported on, presumably also via a crime intelligence leak. Do you have contacts within crime intelligence who speak to you regularly?
No, ma'am, I do not. I do not.
So where are the leaks from?
I tell you again, I don't know where those documents came from. And if I knew, I would certainly tell someone. Maybe not you, but I would have told someone. I don't know who put those documents there. I'm hoping the cameras will reveal something. That is the reason why there are cameras. If I wanted to lie about where those documents came from, I would have said someone left it on my windscreen. Someone left it at my Mitchell's Plain office. There are no cameras there. I'm telling the truth that I walked into my office and there it was.
Okay, your theory. on why this particular entity is leaking like a sieve? To what end?
I think that it's a factional thing. I think that one set of crooks might be trying to oust the other set of crooks, but we also can't discard the possibility that there may be good policemen left in crime intelligence that are really trying their best to clean up. I don't know. I can't give you a definitive answer, but it wouldn't surprise me if one band of crooks wanted to get their hands on the till.
I do believe there are good cops within crime intelligence, within the state security age, everywhere. And I think, and I've seen what's happened elsewhere, when the good cops become overwhelmed, they've now reported things, they're ignored, it's shoved under carpets, something breaks eventually, and this information starts pouring out. My personal theory is that's what's happening now, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, do you believe that the late General Lincoln, had he lived, would have been tracked down and charged for speaking about this matter with you, for advising you to do what you did? After all, we see whistleblowers today hounded, killed. Have you felt physically threatened personally?
I've had the feeling that I was being followed many, many times. My children have told me that there's a white car driving around every second corner they walk. We've had that. And General Lincoln told me that he was looking forward to a fight with the people that run the SAPS. And I must be very honest with you. I was looking forward to having him sitting behind me tonight. It is a real pity that he's not here.
Paragraph 13. You say you were deeply suspicious of the motives of a man who asked to meet with you as he was to investigate the cases you'd opened. You explained earlier how you avoided his calls. Now, what made you suspicious? Some might say paranoid, in terms of a police officer saying he was going to investigate your matters.
Yes, he called.
Hmm.
And my issue was, I'd laid the charges, my dockets had been collected. So there was no intention to investigate until I'd spoken to the IG and the IDAC. But when he introduced himself as Lieutenant Colonel, because again, I said to him, I think my first conversation went along the line of we can meet next week. But then I said to General Lincoln, Lieutenant Colonel, I think it was Phillips called me. And then he said, Lieutenant Colonel. I said, yeah, because I didn't find anything wrong with it. And he said, but a Lieutenant Colonel can't investigate a general. And I said, what does this mean? Break it down to me. I'm stupid. I'm slow. Then he said to me, Fadiel, this is going to be covered up. It's at this point I decided I'm not meeting you, Lieutenant Colonel.
Paragraph 15, you claim that Lieutenant General Khumalo purchased a redundant cell phone grabber. Where did that information come from? Is it a reference to the notorious 45 million rand spent on the grabber pre-Nasrec?
That is 100% the grab I'm speaking about. I mentioned that in portfolio also. It must have been 18 months ago.
Yes. What prompted you to begin asking about the lack of security clearance on the part of various top police officers? I've put out statement after statement over the years, many years, about exactly that, and the way top police officers, they dodge it, they duck, they dive, they won't go. But what prompted you to query this at exactly this time?
I am convinced that the carnage on the Cape Flats is happening because we have unqualified people in the wrong positions. If General Patekile does not have a security clearance, he shouldn't be operating as the provincial chairperson, provincial commissioner. If General Mahashalala does not have a security clearance, he should not be the head of detectives of this province. Now, I can't confirm if they do. I'm using them as examples. But what I'm saying is that it is widely said everywhere you go that there are many, many dozens of generals who do not have security clearance because some of them can't even apply because they've got criminal records. Now, these are the people that the force cannot keep on. We can't under any circumstances. So the reason that I'm so upset about all of this is I can't verify it, but I've read somewhere that our intelligence budget was cut by 100 million rand to purchase these hotels. Now, 100 million rand puts boots on the ground. It puts drones in the air, and it puts investigators on the road. Now, children are being raped and killed daily. because there's not enough funds. Right around the corner here sits organized crime. Policemen that are expected to combat cartels are working from cell phones because they don't have laptops. But we're buying Lani hotels, 45 million rand grabbers that don't work. Top of the range sports cars if we want to. Meanwhile, poor children continue to die.
Paragraphs 23 and 4, you seem to link the 26th of June 2025 arrests of the Crime Intelligence 7 to the press conference of the 6th of July. Now you say 6, actually it was 7 because Lieutenant General Lushaba was rearrested, so that makes 7. Khumalo, Madondo, Lelakalaka, Gabela, Nkube, and Mokwele, they were granted 10,000 rand bail. They were ordered not to enter the premises of Crime Intelligence, but Lushaba, of course, remained in custody as his other matter, for which he'd been arrested a week before, was it was a Schedule 6 criminal offense. So owing to his pending case, it all became very messy, and such did not reflect on his affidavit. Now you seem to link their arrests with the July 6th press conference. Was that deliberate?
You know, Honorable Member, I watched that press conference at home. And I said to my wife, this has got nothing to do with anything except the arrest of Khumalo. Little did I know that I'd later hear it's because the National Commissioner was at the gates of prison. That press conference was a show of force, like he says. It was a show of force to threaten all of us. Arrest my friends. You'll see what happens. There was no other reason for guns behind him. There was no other reason for the camouflage uniform. It was a threat to this house, to this democracy, and to the rule of law. That's what it was. Hence my statement, Mkhwanazi is a constitutional delinquent and is not fit to wear the uniform.
Have you had any feedback from the IDAC on their investigations into the matters you raised with them?
The only feedback I ever get from the IDAC is that the investigation is underway and they are making progress.
Final question. We read earlier today with an earlier witness about the internal SAPS report that cleared Lieutenant General Khumalo of the charges, your charges, as there was no evidence supplied. Now, how do you view that the SAPS believe that unless a civilian provides concrete evidence, the charges must then be dismissed? It does seem to me, in my many years on the Police Portfolio Committee, that so often a criminal charge against an officer who's in court being charged criminally, you see the same person being cleared internally.
But what do you expect when the head of SAPS legal is Bekitele's former legal counsel? What do you expect? And I'm asking this committee to look into the appointment of that man. And also look at his standing with the LPC, because he calls himself advocate. But when we check with the LPC, we don't find a record of him there. Please, he was appointed as Chele was leaving office. And we are reliably told that there was no interview process, no advertisement. So please, look at the man who finds Khumalo not guilty without seeing the evidence. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
I'm coming to kill Buddha.
Honorable Thopa.
Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Honorable Adams, and to your family that's here with you. I hope you're doing okay there with your shoulder.
Thank you, Honorable Klopper. See, guys, I told you he was nice.
Honorable Adams, during your testimony, you did make a statement, and I wrote it down when you were speaking to Advocate Mkhwanazi. You said you're a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist. Could you just explain why you said that? Because we're dealing with lots of contradictory information. We're dealing with a lot of testimonies back and forth. Why would you use that statement?
When I say I'm a conspiracy theorist, it's based on the simple fact that I generally believe that where there's smoke, there's fire. You know, I've been a thief long enough in my life to know that when something goes wrong, there's generally a thief involved.
Don't even know how to respond.
What are you saying, leader? No, some of us can admit to our shortcomings, Chief. I was a thief for many, many years and more.
Thank you for your honesty, Honorable Adams. When you were questioned, I noticed a discrepancy. When you said you made the cases here in Cape Town, then the dockets were fetched, you went to Gauteng, you mentioned that the you had a feeling something wasn't right. A little later, you said General Lincoln had actually warned you. And I just want to know which one was it? Did you have a feeling, and I ask it with a reason, or was it General Lincoln that warned you?
Chief, just to put it into context, General Lincoln warned me.
Okay.
He called me and told me your dockets. I remember that conversation. So your dockets have just been collected. I'm like, General, what does this mean? He says, it's in the provincial office. And me being stupid, I say, what does it mean? He says, it shouldn't have happened. They've broken the law. They're going to cover this thing up.
So General Lincoln was warning you, and it sounded like he had solid advice. He was telling you what was happening. Did he share any other suspicions with you?
No.
There was nothing else that he was
He
giving you
did not-
information on that could have assisted you and this committee?
No, he did not share anything with me. But let me tell you how solid General Lincoln was. General Lincoln was the type that could call me at 9:30 at night and tell me, you need to get to Woodlands quickly. So what's the matter, General? They're about to start shooting. He was that good.
All right. Thank you, Honorable. You said that you didn't inform the investigating officers when you made the cases at the second and third police station. Do you not think in hindsight it would create a bit of confusion and hamper investigations instead of insisting it?
No, because when I got onto that plane to Johannesburg to lay the charges, I was convinced that the cases that are open in Cape Town would never be investigated here.
And you said you don't, I can't verbatim recall the word you said, but you said you didn't think the minister handled the matter properly at a stage. You went to him after because you don't trust SAPS. Then you found a problem with him. He did reply to you within an hour, the chief of staff again within 40 minutes. What exactly did he not do according to you that was, who could have done better? Let me ask you in that way.
Well, there's always something that can be done better. I expected the minister to be harsh in portfolio. He wasn't. I also wrote to the minister. I asked him, I mean, this is much later. The IGI has concluded his report. He's confirmed this with me. He says the report is with you. Please bring it to the portfolio so we can discuss it. The minister didn't reply to that. At that stage, I was under the impression the minister was part of the cover-up. Today, I understand that I was wrong.
Honorable Adams, when you open a case, then an investigating officer wants to speak to you. You say you politely declined. You found reasons not to speak to him. I do want to understand. You open a case, someone wants to investigate it, then you decline to speak. And I understand your reasoning, but I'll get to that in a second. Does it not undermine then the credibility of the complaint? If you're refusing it, and I'll get to the ranking now in a second.
Chief, remember, the dockets have been collected. My conversation with Major General Andre Lincoln is, they're not going to investigate. This is why I go to Johannesburg. This is why I email the IDAC, I call the IDAC. This is why I go to to Pretoria to see the IGI of intelligence. Only after this do the SAPS want to speak to me. So the ranking thing was explained to me by General Lincoln, but in my mind it was, why now? If you understand what I'm saying.
I do. Is it possible that the Colonel Phillips,
I think it was
was appointed to investigate that the dockets were interfered with and not the criminality or the allegations that you made? Because there's two parts to this, Honorable Adams. The one part is that you make an allegation and that needs to be investigated. But the second part is you're saying, well, my things were tampered with. You've gone to the IGI, you've gone to ADAC, you've gone to the minister. Everybody's investigating now this matter. Was he then not appointed to investigate the tampering?
It would have made sense if I'd laid a service delivery complaint. I hadn't.
No, I understand. I saw that in your testimony. But I'm trying to understand where you're coming from, because they have realized now there's tampering, in like what you explained. So someone had to investigate the tampering.
You see, in my view, it's not that they realized there's tampering. They had tampered. So for me, it was a case of the IGI is investigating. Hopefully the IDAC will investigate. We don't need the SAPS to investigate anymore. That was just the way I saw it.
No problem. And no, I'll leave that. Honorable Adams, I'm not an expert just like yourself. You've said it, and I'm not shy to say I'm not an expert at these matters either. But the question I also wanted to ask, when you spoke about the files being fetched in Cape Town, and I want to understand, is that not also possible procedure, considering the high profile nature? I mean, these are classified documents. We know people got arrested. My question is that a possibility or not a possibility?
No, sir.
Because
There
you
was
had
no-
contact with Lincoln on.
There was no that was exactly what I asked. Is it not because of the profile? And then General Lincoln said to me that the SAPS and the SANDF are the two most structured entities in the country. And if you don't follow the protocols and the procedures, your head will fly. There was absolutely no chance of that happening. None.
Honorable Adams, you also make a very bold claim about SAPS having stolen the mandrakes. And you went on to say that in your testimony, while you were verbalizing it, you said that, well, if the National Commissioner didn't know, he knows now. Do you have any evidence of the SAPS actually having stolen that? And Honorable Adams, I'll ask this, I think, with the same passion that you have, and I really hope you do have evidence.
You know,
because I feel strongly about my kids, the same as what you do, and we wouldn't want our kids getting hold of drugs.
You know, Honorable Klopper, I asked the question in portfolio. I gave them the case number. I said, here you go. Here's 100 million rands worth of mandrakes that has disappeared. I mean, that has been confiscated. Why is it not in the media? I was given a response, and it's in the minutes which I've submitted, that it's undergoing further investigation. When we checked a few weeks ago, months ago, on the status of that case no longer mentions mandrakes. It talks about firearms. So the question we have is, what happened to the mandrakes? And therefore we say it's stolen. I know it's a bold claim, but let the National Commissioner come and make a different one, because 100 million rands worth of mandrakes, that's almost exclusively sold here on the Cape Flats. And that is why it's personal to me.
No, 100%. And I think those are the questions that needs to be, that's why I'm asking them, because there is an opportunity to still question. And I want to ventilate these issues because it doesn't help if you don't come forth with it now, it will be lost. You made another claim about the PKTT, and you said, you know, you bet your seat in Parliament. I think I heard you correctly.
You did.
And you said that, you know, other people are staying there. It's a money laundering thing. I want to understand, do you have any evidence of this as well? Again, I'm asking, and I hope you have evidence of people staying there, because it's not that it's trying to prove you wrong, but it's about having when we have to compile a report, that there's actually evidence that we can use to substantiate why we want something followed.
You know, Honorable Klopper, when any SAPS team, task force, unit travels, you know where they stay? They stay at the City Lodge. 1,000 rand a night, 1,100 rand a night. The PKTT is being housed for 10,000 rand a night. So I'm saying to you with confidence that if I am wrong, I'll happily vacate council, our parliament. But I'm asking this committee, because those hotels were bought with the proceeds of the police portfolio's money, I'm asking the committee to subpoena the ledgers and the books so we can see who's being invoiced for what. Because I'm telling you with confidence, and I dare General Khumalo or General Masimola to go and lay a charge against me in the morning for what I'm about to say. That hotel is part of a big money laundering scheme.
You stated in your evidence after meeting IDAC, you considered that the case was finalized in paragraph 11. Is that correct?
I considered the issue finalized in that I've done my job.
Correct.
I've given the information to the IGI. I've described to the IDAC what's happened. I'm out of this now. That's what I'm thinking. The investigation must flow. And if the documentation I handed is fraudulent, nothing will come from it. And hopefully someone does their job if the information is verified.
You then, I think in the next paragraph, you spoke about you went to the IG. You gave all the information over to Advocate Governor. And in this paragraph, I would think, you think, well, now it's final.
Yes, essentially.
Did you do anything after this you've gone to IDAC, you've done that. Did you consult with the police portfolio? Did you consult with the minister? Did you consult with anybody after this?
I decided after bringing things up at the police portfolio that it was hopeless, in my view. And I say it again, it's a self-criticism. I sit on that portfolio as well. I did not speak to the minister further. I do not have the minister's number. I don't have conversation. The only minister I actually speak to is Gayton McKenzie. And that's more of a, it's a whole colored thing. It's a different type of vibe.
Uh, I want to ask this question. You say you considered it finalized, but you've also at the same time in this committee spoken about a very strong conviction of you, accountability, transparency. You wanted to see prosecutions. Did you consider it finalized personally, or, well, whatever happens, happens kind of finalized?
No, I considered it finalized personally. As in, I've done what I can do. There's no more I can do after this. I was just too happy that someone was saying that they'll investigate.
I understand. Honorable Adams, it was alluded to previously, and I want to bring it up again because it bothers me to a point. You can't help if someone slips something under your door, as much as you can't help if someone leaves something on your windscreen. I understand that. And your name has, according to you, also been dragged through the mud, your family's in danger, and all of these type of things. And I know it's not your job to investigate either. But in order for your own name, why didn't you try and get camera footage already? I mean, I'm just looking at it from a logical standpoint. If I was in the firing line, I would have definitely tried to at least get camera footage, find out who's scanning. And you said it when you were verbalizing again, 6:15 every morning you're in the office. So, you have a timeline, you have a whole schedule.
Honorable Klopper, I was under the impression that state security would have done that already. Therefore, I didn't bother. And also, I'm concerned about the safety of the person that slipped it under my door, to be honest with you.
Say again, sorry?
I'm actually, recently, I've thought to myself, how long is this person going to live when they find out his identity or her identity? So, for me, I'm hoping state security knows who it is, but I'm also hoping they don't disclose the identity because funny things are happening right now.
You see, Honorable Adams, I think the problem that I have with this type of how this matter was dealt with is in this case it maybe did work out in a great favor that people were arrested and brought to book and are facing trials and all of that. But we also have heard in many of the testimonies here with just banning PKTT, exposing people, suddenly withdrawing them, it put them at risk. And I think that's the reason I'm concerned about the way the crime intelligence or the information is leaking. Because today it works out, and tomorrow someone's dead for the same thing. And I think that's what concerns this committee, because our terms of reference isn't to decide whether you're guilty or innocent or prosecute you. We're not prosecutors. I don't pretend to be one. But it's to understand how do we strengthen our institutions. And if people are allowed to walk into parliaments and slip a paper under your door that's got information, I mean, they can slip into parliament and slit your throat too.
I don't disagree with you, Chief.
So
I do not disagree with you one bit.
Honorable Adams, I'll rest there. I have actually quite a lot of more questions, but okay, I just want to ask this quickly. Three short questions. You obviously have been following the committee and all of these committees, the ad hoc commission, and you are aware of the allegations made by Kat Mhlala that former Minister Tlele received large sums of money.
Yes, sir.
You're also aware former Tlele also met with Kat Mhlala according to his own witness statement, where Mr. Mhlala proceeded to tell him he was being pressured into false statements against SAPS members, for the theft of Rolex watches, etc.
Yes, I am.
Literally admitting that he was lying and putting fellow policemen in prison.
That's why I said he's a thug.
According to your statement, paragraph 25.1, you say General Mkhwanazi knew former Minister Tlele was attempting to pull him into wrongdoings, but did nothing to distance himself. Are you then saying that General Mkhwanazi is protecting former Minister Tlele?
Honorable Nomvalo, I think it was Nomvalo, he actually makes a good point. Because when I heard wrongdoings, I immediately I imagined all types of criminality. But it could, or was it Honorable? It was Sangweni, sorry. Sangoni, sorry. It could have been something like a naughty boys trip. It could have been a night at Mavericks. So that part of my statement, now that I have another view of it, it could have been anything. But at the time, yes, no, he's protecting Tlele. But like I say, I'm looking at it from another angle and there is another explanation. And I must be honest about it.
All right, I just asked because I've also listened to statements and I've made my own notes, and I mean, we also have to make something out of it. So it's a nowhere, I'm alleging it, and I hear what you're saying, but we, as you explained quite nicely, I know you're trying to connect the dots, and that's exactly why we're here.
100%.
My last question to you is, you refer to General Mkhwanazi as a constitutional delinquent. And is it because you describe him like that because of the the July 2021 riots?
No.
Or is it because of his interpretation of the classified documents of criminalizing crime?
100%, Chief. He makes this allegation that I belong in Paulsmoor. You know, it's a real proud colored stereotype. But then why do I belong in Paulsmoor? Because I laid charges. Because corruption must be classified. He's a constitutional delinquent. I'll say it to his face.
Thank you, Honorable Adams. I really do appreciate all your answers, and to your family that's been here again with you after we weren't able to question you last time and spent the whole day here again.
Thank you,
Thank you
Honorable
very
Gilbert.
much.
Honorable Zotezi. Good evening and how are you? Welcome. Did you come here with Honorable Adams? Okay. The EFF next speakers.
Chairperson, Honorable Malema has a really stern look in his face right now. I'm feeling intimidated.
No, thank you, Chairperson. I'm not going to ask any question. Where you are seated, you must know there's nothing wrong you have done. No one must ever, ever try to tell you nonsense. There's nothing wrong you have done. You come across information, you go to the police. And what police do with it is none of your business. You have reported it to the authorities. That's how it works. Where should you take that information to? To the same corrupt politicians who are in cahoots with thugs, whose political parties are formed with blood money, and tell you, no, take parliament, take it to parliament. Which law is that? You come across nonsense, you report it to the police. It doesn't matter who is being implicated in the nonsense. There are no holy cows here. There are no holy cows here. We are here to investigate wrongdoing. It doesn't matter who has done it. No one. No one is above this constitution. No one is above the law. No one. I would have done the same. I did the same in 1998. When some of them were in Pampas, I reported SARS rogue unit. It was reported by me for the first time. And where did I get that information? The same way you got the information. Sneaked under the door of the ANC Youth League when I was the president of the Youth League. That we were being listened to by the SARS rogue unit, all those who support Jacob Zuma at that time. So how you get top secret information and things like that, there is no formula. You reported that matter to the police. That's the beginning and the end of it. Do they want something from you? If they are legit, they call you, you give them whatever you have. That was the right thing to do. That's what we members of parliament must do. We come across anything, we report it to the police. How are you going to know that it's top secret if you don't open the envelope? How do you hold an envelope like this intelligently and say this is top secret? Because you have to open the envelope and you have to find it written top secret for you to declare it top secret.
I believe Honorable Skosana knows how.
So there is absolutely, members of parliament have got a duty to report wrongdoing to the police. They can still come here and hold the authorities accountable, but that doesn't take away the fact that if you see anything wrong, you must report it to the police. Whether you are right, whether you are wrong, it's not for me to judge. They must do an investigation and they must come back to you and say, Honorable Adams, you were wrong. There is no prima facie evidence. Whatever you gave us doesn't work. So those are my remarks. Please, you must never be worried. Some of us have been worse than what you're going through. We joined this thing The first thing they told us when we joined the struggle was that we must never be scared of policemen.
Amandla.
Why should they use a policeman to scare us? We must never be scared of death. And we join this thing, we put our families at risk. We do it consciously for the good of society. So we must never, through the intimidation of the kids and the wife and all those, be made to retreat and be scared of thugs that want to intimidate you. Stand with the truth. That's all you need. Otherwise, after standing with the truth, even if you die with a clear conscience that I was never on the side of wrongdoing. Even when it was fashionable to do so, I've never compromised the truth for political expedience. Over to you, Honorable Mates.
Oh, she's going to ask the question.
Yeah, you can ask me a question.
We don't have many questions. Thank you, Chair. Honorable Adams. And it's more an observation, and you can comment on it. So when they were contacting you and you said that you gave them the runaround, right? Because they were not supposed to be allocated those cases. Do you not think that it would have been better for you to say, hey, Chief, like how you tell us here, Chief, this is not, and explain to them that from what you understand, that you should have not been allocated these dockets to investigate as well, because you also contributed to the confusion later on that happened around the dockets.
You know, Honorable Matthias, in my view, the confusion was created by the generals who came to sit here. I didn't want to let them know that I knew more than what they thought.
Okay. So you were also.
No, the fact that a full general, well, a lieutenant general can come and sit in this chair and tell you as honorable members that a colonel was going to investigate a general, it tells me what he thinks of you.
But that was before.
No, what I'm saying.
I mean, what happened
No,
when you
no.
went to open the cases, it was way before we had that here. So I'm saying you already had information,
Yes.
right? That you must just give them the runaround, and you didn't want to let them know what it is you were doing.
100%.
So that's what I wanted to understand.
Thank you.
Then that's fine. Chair, on the Mandrax case, as a committee, we must write to the National Commission. We mustn't also let that go under the radar. Honorable Adams has brought it to our attention, and we must get exact details and ask specific questions about what happened to the case. Why is the case now? What an firearms.
It's become a firearms case.
Yeah, and it must be done as soon as possible. Just quickly, you haven't spoken much about your relationship with Lieutenant General Sabia. Or do you have one? And
I have more of a relationship with General Mkhwanazi than Sabia because I actually sent Mkhwanazi a WhatsApp once. I've never spoken to Sabia. I've never seen him outside of Parliament. And after what I've heard, I never want to either.
that was my next question about whether you were surprised. So you don't speak kindly about the KZN Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi. Why do you believe when he said that he did the press conference because the National Commissioner was at the gates of hell? Why do you believe him on that?
Because I know all the other parts were rubbish. I know the talk of the PKTT was rubbish. Okay, the 121 files at the time, there was a question mark about, but the people who've testified have put even more shade on that. I know that myself and Honorable Kola Barnard are not involved in cartels. So the only conclusion I can come to, it was about the arrest of his friends. There's no other conclusion for me. If General Mkhwanazi can come and sit in this chair and produce 1 ounce of proof about the allegations he made, then we're good. He hasn't. I watched him. I listened to him. His testimony is, I thought to myself, and no General Kumalo will come and confirm, but then he doesn't. The man lied to Parliament. He lied repeatedly. And I hope he doesn't get away
Were
with it.
you surprised when he said that our National Commissioner was at not the gates of prison? Were you surprised?
I was.
And you believed him immediately?
Well, General Mkhwanazi says it. He's got a relationship with Masimola, not me. So obviously there was a discussion, and I can even tell you that there was probably a discussion about the press conference as well. Because he calls that press conference and he gets away with it without any disciplinary measure. So I'm assuming the National Commissioner gave him consent to do it.
And do you know anything else? Any other information outside of what Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi said about the National Commissioner being?
No, ma'am.
Would you, nothing, you don't have any information that we can follow up on?
I'm actually busy working on the Red Cross issue right now, so I'm done with SAPS. I've had enough of this.
Or you moved on. And then just my last, and you can comment on it, but Chair, we should also make a decision that we follow up on the hotels, and that we write in, we get whatever information that we need on the ledgers to be able to do that.
Come on.
And not let this also go under the radar. And when we go into deliberations, we can't, take positions or make findings or do recommendations without having that information as well. And I hope we don't have too many hurdles with us being able to access that information. That's all. Thank you, Chair. I think President just has one word.
Sorry, Chair. I just want to say this thing that the honorable member says, it's here. Mkhwanazi, during his 2-day testimony that concluded Wednesday, claimed Masemola narrowly escaped arrest due to a sinister political plot linked to interference in Hawks appointments. He said it here.
Thank you, Honorable Malema. You behave.
Bangazita.
Why are you pointing at me, Honorable?
I was joking, Chairperson. I was
Do I have
joking.
anything to do with this?
The speaker who is recognized is Honorable Mwango, if we can respect him.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. The questions that I had have actually been covered. Thank you.
The next speaker is Honorable Sauls. The honorable member requested 30 minutes.
That's the 30 minutes.
Chair, Honorable Ndawazit says he's donating his minutes to me. This is a very special day. I have the honor of questioning Honorable Fadiel Adams. Chair, can we please just confirm what time am I ending? Let me be sure. So that you don't.
At 4 minutes past, 5 minutes past 10, I'm give you 20 minutes.
No, Chair. We agreed on 30, you see. I knew it.
So your time will end at 10:15.
Thank you, Chair. I knew it.
Do you need me to add?
Yes, please.
With how many minutes?
Benevolence. No, we shall see, Chair.
Until 10:15.
Thank you, Chairperson. Are we second?
Proef aan my.
Hoe lyk hulle?
Keep up, Nomvalo.
Honorable Adams.
Ik het amper gesê salut, maar my ma dop.
Ish. You are Muslim, correct?
Yes, my brother, I am.
Now you are in a sacred period in Islam known as Ramadan. That requires of you to be truthful, correct?
To the best of my ability. My ability is extremely limited sometimes.
Now I make dua for you that the following surah is your reality today. May Allah expand your chest. Make your task easy for you. Untie the knots in your tongue so we might understand your speech. Amen.
Tuma amen, tuma amen.
Who is the person on your t-shirt?
This is LaShawn Hendricks. LaShawn Hendricks was 15 years old. He was shot in Hanover Park. Gangsters were firing on each other. They cornered one. One gangster held him as a shield. The other one fired right through him. He was 15 years old. Today we won a small victory. The killers were denied bail. But this happens in the Cape Flats 10 times a day. Young boys and girls get gunned down like they're nothing. This is why this is so personal to me. This is why when I had an opportunity to call you my honorable bro, lekker it makes me feel. Honorable brain man. Want as brain mans, het mos gehoor wat sê Mkhwanazi, goed vir polsmo. Honorable souls. You're changing lives like I hope to do. That is why when I got elected here, I was only going to go to the police portfolio. I've been fighting SAPS since I was an activist. I chased Becky Taylor out of Mitchell's Plain in 2017 when a young girl got killed and he pulled up. There were 40 cars, but we got 13 vans for the whole of Mitchell's Plain. This is personal to me.
You speak of General Andre Lincoln. I want to be sure that it's the same general that I've read about. And you will confirm. General Andre Lincoln, a classified colored hero, unfortunately in a permanent hole in the cemetery, but his blood still speaks from the ground. He's a liberation struggle hero. He served as a high-level intelligence operative for Mkhonto Sizwe, risking his life to dismantle the apartheid state from within. He's the president's shield, handpicked by former President Nelson Mandela for his personal security detail. He is historically credited for uncovering and neutralizing an assassination plot against former President Mandela during the 1994 presidential inauguration. Former President Mandela appointed him in 1996 to lead the Presidential Investigation Task Unit. This mission was to hunt down the Sicilian mafia and investigate high-level rot between organized crime and the police. He was the first victim of state capture. Because he refused to be corrupted, he was targeted by the old guard generals and hit with 47 fabricated charges. He was hounded out of the police for 15 years, becoming the first historical example of the criminal justice system being weaponized against an honest investigator. Despite being framed, he fought a 15-year legal battle to clear his name, eventually winning an acquittal on all charges and returning to SAPS with his integrity intact. He was also the commander of the anti-gang unit in 2018. He was appointed to lead the first specialized unit to tackle the gang wars on the Cape Flats. He led from the front, becoming a symbol of hope for the forgotten communities of the Western Cape. Honorable Fadiel, is this the same General Lincoln that gave you advice?
That is but a glimpse of the man. General Lincoln was one of the finest men I ever met. I would have given my life for him. It's a sadness that I didn't get the chance to. I miss that bro. He was a big brother, he was a friend, he was an advisor. I mean, this is the man, this country trusted Mandela's life. They put Mandela's life in his hands. This is the man that stood side by side with me while other people want to protect FW de Klerk's boy. Think about this for a second.
Did what General Lincoln tell you is going to happen to the case dockets really happen?
I'm convinced that it has.
It's not just you saying it. We just heard proof or testimony from General Senthumule, who confirmed that these dockets were never seen by a detective or crime office, but ended up in General Jacob's safe. So this substantiates what General Lincoln warned you about when he said to you, they're going to cover this thing up. Is your submission based on that testimony and the fact that we know it's factual that those dockets was in a safe in Pretoria? Is your submission to the committee today that it's clear evidence of defeating the ends of justice?
Yes, it is, Chief. I also want to urge this committee, honorable source, to ask the question, who gave the instruction to Lieutenant General Jacobs to collect those dockets? Because he didn't wake up one morning and thought, let me go and collect case dockets. Someone gave him that instruction. Someone superior. I mean, it's not a long list, but this committee must ask that question.
As a member of parliament, sitting on the portfolio of police, you say that you asked for a list of generals not having security clearance from the National Commissioner, General Masimula.
Yes, Chief.
Did the National Commissioner ever supply that list to date?
In the minutes of the meeting, it is promised that they'll bring that list to the next meeting. They never did.
Is it your testimony that the National Commissioner, Masimula, lied under oath that General Kumalo's clearance was above board, as per your evidence in FAA1, suggesting it was fraudulent?
It is my testimony that General Kumalo's first security clearance was fraudulent.
But is it your testimony then that the National Commissioner lied under oath?
It is my testimony that the NASCOM lied under oath.
The case of the vanishing drugs, case number 111-2024 that you speak about, you inquired about a 100 million Mandrex bust that received no media attention. What is the current status of that case today?
The information on that case number refers to firearms. It does not mention drugs. It is something we cannot understand. We believe that the case has been tampered with, that the docket has been tampered with. We cannot prove this. Therefore, we are asking this committee to investigate.
Now, how is it possible that a clandestine lab bust resulting in 100 million worth of drugs now only reflects firearms in the case diary? How's that even possible?
With these people in charge of the South African Police Services, my leader, anything is possible. How is it possible that the SAPS bust 100 million rand worth of Mandrax and it's a media blackout? It's not mentioned on radio, it's not on TV, it's not in the print media. If they were to hit a Shabin today, Masimola would be throwing out the alcohol. We've seen the pictures. But they hit 100 million rands worth of Mandrax and they say nothing. And then 1 year later, Mandrax is not mentioned in the docket anymore. I tell you, as a man who understands police corruption, who in his younger days benefited from police corruption, I'm telling you that Mandrax made its way to your Aldos, to your Westleries, and to your Cape Flats. I give you that guarantee. And I give you the further guarantee that there are policemen that unlawfully benefited from that.
What do you mean by that? That it was stolen by police and sold on the streets?
That is exactly what has happened.
Are you saying that the drugs that is imprisoning our children is made available by police?
Chief, the drugs that are poisoning a generation of our children is made available to these drug lords by the police. The guns which kill our children by the dozen a day is sold to the gangsters by the police. Look at the Colonel Prinsloo issue. 27,000 guns sold to the Cape Flats gangs. 27,000. And they let one policeman take the fall. One. And he got sentenced to 15 years and he served 7. And I asked the SAPS, why didn't you object to his parole? And we didn't get an answer. Now you tell me, how is it possible for 27,000 guns to be moved by one man? It was a network. And meanwhile, we're burying 10 children a day. And this is what is expected to go on.
You testify that PKTT members are living in a hotel purchased from the slush fund that is used as a washing machine. You say, you call it a washing machine. In other words, you are saying that is used for money laundering.
Money laundering and racketeering. Let me explain something to you, if you may. I know it's your time. The PKTT is housed in 5-star hotels, but they're still claiming for meals and SNTs. They're still claiming for meals and SNTs. How many hours must you work a month to claim 40,000 rands overtime? But they're claiming 40,000 rands overtime per month. And we are being asked by Khumalo, Masimola, and Mkhwanazi to accept this. I don't believe that there are mad people on this committee. This committee should not accept that.
In your testimony, it was made to appear as if you're denying that some members are in the crime intelligence that are part of the PKTT, but you are actually saying that you do accept that some members are from the crime intelligence that are living at these properties. But what you are saying is, if I understand you correctly in your previous testimony, that the other members that are part of the PKTT, that's not part of crime intelligence, are also living allegedly at these venues.
That is 100% what we are saying, Chief. But you must also be careful of the semantics and the gymnastics that these people play with. Because I can tell you now that the raid on Vusikat Matlala's house was led by Lieutenant Colonel Khumalo, who is a member of the PKTT, not counterintelligence. Be very careful of how they play. We've learned how they play. We've been playing with them for 18 months.
What is the name of the general responsible for purchasing these properties from the slush fund?
In my opinion, remember, I'm not the investigator. It can only be Major General Ushaba or Lieutenant General Khumalo. Those are the two people with signing powers at crime intelligence, if my understanding is correct, and I believe it is.
What is your message to every colored child in this country watching you right now?
I was a shooter once. I hurt people. I was a robber once. I robbed people. I was a druggie once. For many, many years, I was addicted to it. It was sold to me. I didn't know it was supplied by the police. I didn't know the guns I held were supplied by police. I didn't understand the systemic issues. This carnage must stop by any means necessary. I'm tired of beating 15-year-old boys. I'm tired of seeing sad mothers and paying for funerals. I believe we need better. I believe the Cape Flats, the Aldos, the Westburys, the Innerdales, they deserve better. But we're not going to get better with these people in charge. You know, people make fun of my past, but it's my past. It's the only past I have. But my past is a reflection of 1 million ladies here on the Cape Flats. And you know what I offer? I offer hope, man. I offer hope that you can get off your knees and you can stand on your feet. And if you work hard enough, you can make it here. You know, Biza, me and you, we weren't allowed here. We had to fight to get here. You know that the system is set up against us, irrespective of what anyone says. You know that a colored lady has to dodge bullets on his way to school. Then he's got to dodge bullets on the way home again. Then you find out it's the African Police Service is supplying those bullets, and it makes me angry. And this is why when people ask me, what have you got against Mkhwanazi? I got a lot against Mkhwanazi. Because he's defending this. You know Cheslin Colby? You know Benny McCarthy? Wayne Roberts? We got 1 million like them. They're just not given the opportunity. I'm a proud man. I don't beg, but I will beg. I will beg for children whose names I don't know, that they be given an opportunity, that they don't have to dodge bullets. This is not what we fought for. Maybe one day they get it. But we're not going to get it if we don't fight for it. My message to any colored lady out there is stay in school, respect your mother, and do what you need to do. And stay away from the drug dealers. There's nothing there for you. Thank you for letting me get that out there.
Honorable Adams, your presence here is the fulfillment of a mission started by your dear friend, the late General Andre Lincoln.
Amen.
General Lincoln was a man who survived the trenches of the struggle, only to warn us that the police service he helped build was being eaten from within. He warned you that the dockets would move and the truth would be buried. Today, you have honored his memory. You have proven that whilst they can move a docket to a safe in Pretoria, they cannot move the truth once it is in the hands of the people's representative. Your spirit today is that of our Khoi ancestors, the first defenders of the soil. You carry the unyielding flame of Ashley Creel and Anton Franch, the resilience of Basil February, and the fierce sacrifice of Stanley Lowland, the fourth Rivonia trialist. Like them, you have refused to be silenced by a system that demands your compliance in exchange for your conscience. You have reminded this House that true oversight is not a press conference, but the relentless exposure of the rot that hides behind classified stems. Honorable Adams, you have done exactly that. You have brought the light of evidence into the darkest corners of our security services. You've been criticized for it. You've been called names. But here you are. You're still standing. On behalf of every colored child watching you tonight, I'm tempted to call you a hero with hope, but I won't do it because I don't want this moment to be messed up by people who don't understand what's happening here tonight. What I will settle for is a statement that we understand in the hood of Mitchell's Plain and El Dorado Park. Masagan is the last dawn.
Salute, Masakan.
And you know what? I believe in spiritual and divine moments. It's very ironic and very significant that this moment, I can feel it in the atmosphere, happens on the day that Gayton Mackenzie is born.
Selamat, Gayton. Selamat, Masakan.
And you know what? I want the whole country to know, as I conclude proudly, I said of Paul O'Sullivan, he is a hero with holes. But the country must know today, Gayton Mackenzie is my hero. Salute, Masakan.
Oh, yeah.
Awe chairperson. Uli paisan.
No, Chairperson. No, Chairperson. That's not the correct response. The correct response to Awe is oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
How do I respond, Honorable Adams?
Chairperson.
How do I respond to our?
You say, oh, yeah.
I say, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you speak like the Japanese speak. It must come from your chest, not your throat. You know, it's a deep like, oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now give me your money.
I must speak, I must speak like I'm Japanese. honorable vessels.
Thank you,
You
Chairperson.
must start with this, you must start by saying hallelujah.
Sorry, Chair. May the record show I used less than 30 minutes.
Not a lot less. Thank you, Chairperson, and good evening, Honorable Adams. Just a few questions. There's a lot of issues that might seem very confusing if one listens to everything that's said and a lot of conclusions that's made and a lot of allegations and so forth at the moment. But I want us to zoom out and focus on the origin of why you are here, why you are testifying and were called to this committee. Am I correct that the reason is that on the 6th of July, during the press conference by General Mkhwanazi, he said that politicians, and I think if I'm not mistaken, he specifically also said members of parliament are involved in cartels, criminal cartels, and protecting those cartels. Am I correct?
Yes, Chief, that is my evidence.
And then when he testified at this committee, he was then asked who he's referring to, and he then mentioned your name and he mentioned the Honorable Kola Barnard. Am I correct?
You are 100% spot on, Chief.
Do you think that he was referring to the two of you when he, at that press conference, said that there's members of parliament protecting? And I know it's just an opinion that I'm asking, but I'm asking your opinion.
When that press conference happened and I was watching it as it happened, I knew that he was referring to me. I did not know he was referring to Honorable Kola Barnard until he sat down here. So if you're asking me my opinion on the day, I did not know, I did not think for a split second that he was mentioning her. But I knew when he mentioned politicians that I was one of the people he was accusing.
Why? Because he was accusing politicians of protecting cartels. Are you protecting cartels?
No, Chief. But what I did is I pulled the lever that got his friends arrested. I could see through that press conference because I could see the lies and the holes in his story. And I said to myself, this press conference is called because of those arrests.
Let's for a second hypothetically assume that that a version is correct, and that version, as you know, or the explanation is that the PKTT, members of the PKTT, was also fighting organized crime, and as you know, also explained the raid that was done at Kat Mklala's house and so forth, and that is linked to drug syndicates and all of that. So if you were to do something to threaten or get General Khumalo out of the way, don't you think the assertion then is that you are protecting cartels by getting General Khumalo out of the way?
That would be 100% true, Chief, if they had done 1 day's worth of investigation into cartels. We know, as we sit here, that they've got no evidence of a big five on hand or on file because they've not done their job as crime intelligence.
Okay. But you did not open the case because you wanted to get General Khumalo out of the way, or did you?
I wanted justice. And General Khumalo is not the only person that I laid cases against. So I don't know if people need to think that to make themselves better, if people need to think that to hold on to their general's benefits, that's their issue. Fact of the matter is, I did what I felt I needed to do, and I do feel vindicated.
Because what you are being accused of is that.
Yes.
That you try to protect, you are responsible for this whole thing because you exposed alleged corruption that led to the arrest of General Khumalo, and that is actually hindering the fight against these cartels,
100%.
but you are not guilty of that. Is that your evidence?
I don't think I fit the profile of someone that cartels would want to associate with, Chief.
Because I agree with the Honorable Malema that I personally do not see anything wrong with a member of parliament receiving information, taking it to the police and having it investigated. So you did not get that information through some illegal channel. It was pushed through your door.
You know, Honorable Wessels, in our office in Mitchell's Plain, there's generally a stack of paperwork waiting for me, which people have come to drop off. Some of it involves indigent grants, some of it involves SASSA issues, some of it involves fraud and corruption. I've laid 8 cases of fraud and corruption in the city of Cape Town. Some of them will be before the courts soon. One of them is before the courts. I didn't lay my very first charge against General Khumalo. We've been fighting fraud and corruption for the last 7 years. This is not a new thing to us.
Okay. I think that's well established. Honorable Adams, there's just one thing that bothers me, and that is a lot of conclusions that you make, assertions that you make, that's not necessarily substantiated. Let me give one example. You earlier said that the reason why you believe that the grabber that was procured is redundant is because it is 4G technology in a 5G environment. Am I correct? But that grabber was purchased in 2017 with the NASRAC conference. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
At that stage, 5G wasn't in South Africa.
But you don't buy a 45 million rand grabber if you're only going to use it for 18 months. 5G entered South Africa less than 2 years later.
3-4 years later.
Well,
but you see, it's an assumption that you make.
No, I do agree. I do agree, Chief. But you do understand where I'm going with that.
I do understand, but you don't have evidence of it.
No, I don't.
Okay. The mandrakes that you say is not mentioned in the docket anymore. How do you know that?
We have asked someone.
Who's we?
The NCC, to look into it for us. Because we are concerned that no arrests is happening.
So you got access to the docket?
No. No.
But how do you then know that mandrakes is not mentioned in the docket anymore?
Because we asked someone, what is the progress with that case? Because we were promised further investigation. Then this person came back to us because we don't see the docket and said, but are you sure this is the right case number? I said, it's the one in the minutes. They said, but this thing mentions firearms. I said, well, then the mandrakes is stolen.
Okay. You also spoke on the hotels and that you're worried about that, or the hotel purchase. Do you know for a fact that that hotel is still being operated as an hotel?
That
or is it
hotel,
just a property that was bought, a shell?
the hotel was bought as a going concern. That hotel is operating tonight still.
Do you know that for a fact?
I'm telling you as a fact.
How do you know that as a fact?
Because this is the way they operate.
Yeah, but you see, that's not substantiating it.
But
as
the Honorable
evidence.
Klopper, this is why in my testimony, I asked this committee to please subpoena the ledgers, and that will confirm it.
No, you make, I think you make intelligent assumptions. That's probable, but it's not necessarily evidence. And that's what worries me, because you're creating a little bit of noise that's deflecting away from why you actually, and what's the actual essence of the complaints that you laid based on information that you were provided with. But these other things are assumptions.
The complaint that I laid, Honorable Klopper, was against the
Vessels.
purchase of the hotels.
Vessels.
I'm sorry, Vessel, because I'm looking at Klopper. So Honorable Vessels, the complaint that I laid was because of the purchase of the hotels.
Honorable
No,
Adams,
I can see.
him is Honorable Vessels.
I'm sorry. So the complaint that I laid was against the purchase of the hotel. Because as per the doc, that the PKTT is staying there and that they are charging for it. So I'm saying to you that the case has been opened. The IGI has made a finding. I'm not reading the media reports. I'm reading it, but I'm not taking note of it. But it appears as if there is malfeasance there. So I'm asking this committee, if we are to get to the bottom of this, if we are to know who the real bad guys are, get those ledgers before Parliament and deal with that. If I am wrong, I will put my hand up and say I was wrong. But I'm saying this loudly, knowing that Kumalo and Masimola can't lay charges against me tomorrow morning because we'll have to have the ledgers in court.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Honourable
Honourable
Adams. Thank you very much. Thank you, Chairperson.
Chairperson, can I just request a 2-minute break, please? I just,
No, we are taking the last speaker. You are
Chairperson, I
you are
might not
going
make it.
nowhere.
Okay.
We've gone through those tendencies.
No, I will leave my phones here, Chairperson. I'll leave both of my cell phones here. I'll just run to the.
You want to stand up and leave without being released? by
Never,
the chair?
Chairperson, never, never.
Okay, I give you the 2 minutes that you request.
What's that, Chairperson?
You are granted.
Thank you, Chairperson.
The 2 minutes that you request.
Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you so much for returning. Honorable James, your time starts now. It's 20 minutes past 10.
Thank you so much,
I
Chief.
give you until 22:11.
Thank you. Honorable Adams. I'm battling to gather myself. After you explained to us what happened to the 15-year-old and that he was used as a shield.
We're gonna win this, D. We're gonna win this. It's okay.
Honorable Adams, you referred to General Mkhwanazi as a constitutional delinquent. Am I correct?
Yes, you are.
As a result of this constitutional delinquent, and this is my view, we now know that there's only one scanner and it's not working. As a result of this constitutional delinquent, he has now confirmed what we have always known, that drugs confiscated finds itself back into our homes. The constitutional delinquent has confirmed, amplified our voices, and told South Africans that firearms, the Prinsloo matter, you mentioned it, has been circulated back into our communities. And this is why the other day, just 5 people were shot in Westbury, the mother of a 1-year-old, and you have a 1-year-old in hospital today because of this constitutional delinquent. He has confirmed that he has shown us and exposed that a criminal that came here that said a drug manufacturer, he called him his bestie and a brother. This is what this constitutional delinquent has exposed.
The questioner?
I'm saying to you.
Can I respond?
No, not yet. The constitutional delinquent has showed us and exposed and allowed for opportunities for us to listen to how a criminal is buying meat, sponsoring parties, doing BBLs, all sorts of nonsense, captured the entire SAPS management, and why our communities are all the poorer. Wait for me.
Sure.
We are now aware, not that we haven't known this, you and I, of the extent of infiltration and political interference in our criminal justice system. You call him a constitutional delinquent. Mr. Adams, I am grateful for this constitutional delinquent who has amplified our voices and exposed what you and I have known for many years. Because if we did not have the 6th of July, we wouldn't have had all of these witnesses appear before us and expose this corrupt system.
Chairperson, am I here for a lesson or an?
So I am just giving you, you gave your view and I can use my time.
No,
I'm
but-
giving my view.
But
No.
because I would like to respond, Chairperson. I can't respond to a 10-minute ramble.
Yeah, no, let's do it like, you know, every time we allocate time to the speaker, the speaker knows what to do with their time. So now, you are on the time of Honorable James.
Just with respect, Chairperson.
Yeah, it's a time you allow her to use it.
Okay, Chairperson, I get you. Thank you.
And then when she has satisfied herself that she has used her time satisfactorily, she will decide how much she allocates to you from her time.
Thank you, Chairperson.
If she decides that you must only speak for 1 minute, it's okay, that is her time. Honorable Skosan.
Thank you, Chair. Point of order, Chair. Mr. Adams can't say to an honorable member is rambling.
What?
Rambling.
I will respectfully read with.
Please retract that, Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Honorable Skosana.
Who said who is rambling?
It was me, Chairperson, and I retract respectfully. Sorry, Honorable James.
Yeah, look at her and.
I do apologize, Honorable James.
No. If you can be motionless.
Chairperson, I can't. My arm feels like it's falling off. It's really so. Sorry, man. I do. That's been going on for weeks now, man. And I was supposed to go to a specialist.
What have you done to that chair?
What's that, Chairperson?
The chair on which you are sitting, because it's like it has been problematic to our witnesses.
No, Chairperson.
Once witnesses sit on that chair.
No, Chairperson. I really wanted to see a specialist, but I was afraid that they'd book me off from work. And I don't want anybody thinking that I'm ducking this committee, which is kind of the narrative out there. So I'm here through the pain. So just excuse my animation with my arm and it is really sore.
I want you to look at Honorable James and.
Honorable James, I do
and
apologize.
Withdraw an apology.
And I withdraw. Thank you, Chairperson.
Okay.
Honorable Adams, I accept your apology. So that is my view, Honorable Adams, on the constitutional delinquent. I may not agree with everything that he has said, but I can tell you what General Mkhwanazi did on the 6th is appreciated by me and by many South Africans. Do you think that based on what I've just highlighted to you, do you find no value? Do you see any value in what he did on the 6th?
Can I respond?
Yeah, you may.
I find no value in what he did. If Khumalo is not arrested, if the National Commissioner is not up for arrest, he doesn't call that press conference. That constitutional delinquent demands that I get locked up for laying cases of corruption, for alleged misdeeds. He wanted me to look the other way. This is what makes him a constitutional delinquent, not my opinion, not what you and I think. The fact of the matter is he wants me to look the other way. He's not heard of the MIS Act. You see, that constitutional delinquent, people forget about the Louis Vuitton bag and the inflated bulletproof vest. People forget the fact that he's the worst performing provincial commissioner in the history of our democracy. People talk him out to be some type of hero. He is no hero. More people die in KZN because of police bullets than anywhere else in this country. More money is wasted in KZN than in any other province.
Thank you. You've responded
But I'd
adequately.
like to qualify my statement properly.
But it's
Honorable.
fine.
Okay, you can continue eulogizing him. It's fine. In South Africa, we worship flops.
You say South Africa, we worship what?
Flops, Chairperson, flops.
Oh, Honorable Sols, do you agree with that statement?
General Mkhwanazi is a hero with hope.
No. I want you to tell him that in South Africa, the God we worship never fails us.
The God we worship never fails.
Never fails us.
I will retract you.
He
Chairperson,
Which God is he referring?
He says we worship flops.
Chairperson,
Well, I don't worship flops.
let
eh?
me, Chairperson, in your benevolence, let me follow your lead and your wisdom and retract that statement. Thank you, Chairperson.
Honorable Adams, luckily we had some time between your testimony and today's questions. Do you have any evidence of the members, the PKT members that were staying at the hotel that you mentioned, that's paying 10,000 Rand instead of 1,000 Rand? Do you have any evidence?
What do you think the oyster box in Mhlanga costs?
I'm asking you, you made an allegation and you said that
It
there are
has been-
PKT members staying. This was at your previous, when you came here and you testified.
It has been confirmed that the PKT stays at either Mhlanga Rocks or the oyster box in KZN.
No.
We call,
can't say, I'm saying specifically, you mentioned the
But you're not
hotel that they
letting
are
me talk.
staying.
can I talk?
But you are derailing, Mr. Adams.
No, I'm trying to get to my point, Honorable James. You speak for 5 minutes, you want me to respond in 5 seconds. Can the math, please? Please.
Honorable Adams, you're not going to eat into my time.
But I'm not ending you.
I'm really
You
being
ended
very
up-
patient with you.
No,
Honorable
no.
Adams, I put it to you that the last
You're
time.
not going to talk to me like I'm Cat Matlala.
Whoa,
Sorry,
whoa,
because Fadiel
whoa.
Adams go.
Whoa,
Because
whoa,
Fadiel
whoa,
Adams
whoa.
go. There's a difference here.
Eh.
There's a difference here. You're not going to go screaming. at
Whoa.
people. I'm going to.
Whoa.
So I'm not sure why you're
Honorable-
so defensive today.
Honorable James and
I'm
Honorable
honestly
Adam.
don't know why, because I'm trying to get
There you
you
go
a set
screaming
of
again.
questions,
No.
refusing to answer.
Honorable James. Wait,
The only woman that screams at me is the one I sleep with.
Wait.
You get that out of
Not
my-
screaming at you.
wait. Do you want us to take a break?
No, you
Eh?
calm down.
No,
You calm down.
I have not allowed you to speak, either of you. Honorable James,
Archie.
may you please switch off your microphone? The two of you come from this province, isn't it? You come from Gauteng, both of you. Hmm?
I am from Lavendale, Chairperson, 7945 up the road here.
In the Cape Flats.
Yes, Chairperson, where legends are born.
Honorable James comes from the same place.
No, I think she's from Elders, Chairperson. But she can answer that. Don't let me answer for her. No, but I want before I get accused of.
No, you said she will answer.
That's what I'm saying. She can answer.
Honorable James, you come from this province.
Proudly from Eldorado Park, Gauteng.
Oh. And then Honorable Adams, you come from
Western Cape, Cape Town, Chief.
So when we are here, you are our host.
Okay, Chairperson.
Can you be a good host to us and show us the receptiveness of the people of the Western Cape?
Chairperson, you know the culture of the Western Cape, Chairperson, is to be a reflection of what stands before you.
Yeah,
So
I'm-
Chairperson, I did not
I'm-
raise my voice once. I mean, I get screamed at here like I'm in grade 3.
saying to you that can you show us your warmth and the receptiveness
Yes, Chairperson,
of the people of the Western Cape?
But the people of the Western Cape don't allow them to get talked down to or screamed at, Chairperson. That's not in our culture.
No. Are you able to do that?
I can try my best, Chairperson, but you know what?
You are talking to me.
It's reciprocal,
You are-
Chairperson.
you are not talking to Honorable James.
No,
You are-
Chairperson,
You
but
are talking. to me.
100% my leader, my benevolent Chairperson.
Are you able to show us the warmth?
But Chairperson, it's reciprocal. It has to come from both
To make
sides.
us feel the warmth and
Sure,
and
Chairperson.
show us the receptiveness
We got ourselves a game.
of
Okay,
the people of the Western.
no
Cape.
problem, Chairperson.
Honorable James, we are visitors in this province. It's not our province of origins. Can we also demonstrate that we are visitors in this province? Because the two of you, the way you are engaging, you are engaging like you come from the same township. You are used to the
Chief.
Popesal dance language.
I'm gonna take great offense on what you are saying. Don't paint
Point
us
of
all
order, Chair.
the same brush. That's not right.
Point of order, Chair.
I'm extremely patient with Mr. Adams. I'm actually trying to paint a picture here. I understand his frustration. But if you don't say the things that Mr. Adams wants to hear, you have him behaving like that. I understand where he comes from, but I'm allowed to my view and my opinion. But this platform is not about our views and our opinions. It's about bringing facts. It's about bringing evidence.
Yes, I'm trying to calm both of you.
Chairperson.
Calm. I have been
And
calm.
I wanted you to understand that the two of you,
This is not going to end well.
the two of you cannot stand.
This is not going to end well, Chair.
No, wait. The two of you.
Chairperson,
the two of
Chairperson, we were having a discussion about how we're going to patch this, and there she goes again. Now, I'm tired of hearing, how people are dying of drugs. No. And then when Mkhwanazi stops the drug bust, then it's okay because he's the provincial commissioner. So if she wants to come hard, let's go. Come, let's go.
When I address,
Chairperson, it's fine. I'm not asking for peace. Let's go. I came for war.
When I address you, you want to behave yourselves like this. Honorable Malema and Honorable Sols.
But thanks, Chairperson. Honorable Adams, please, you must act with restraint. You might be an honorable member, but you are appearing on a different cap where you are now. And the only thing you can do is to act with restraint and respect members of parliament. Because if they're being disrespected by other members of parliament, you are eroding the authority of this committee. Wes, you speak over the chairperson. So I can see if you have a problem with Honorable James, what is the problem with the chairperson? Because chairperson speaks, you speak on top of his voice. It's not done. Let Honorable James say whatever she wants to say. I was saying to Honorable Mateis, you know, politics are a boxing ring. You throw a punch, they're going to throw punches at you. When we speak for long, defending and protecting what you are right to do, whatever you wanted to do, you don't interrupt us. But if she says something you don't like, you interrupt her. Not everybody is going to say what you like here. You're going to sit there and listen to her. And then at an appropriate moment, you'll respond to her. We're not here to get praises or criticism. It goes different ways. All it needs, it's a man who can take punches. And a man, I mean both women and men. So, Chair, I think, please, let's respect the chairperson. When he calls order, we must all come back to order and not challenge his authority over this meeting. It's late in the night, and Honorable James is probably the last one, and unless Honorable Skosana decides to raise his hand. But so far, we are safe.
Honorable Sauls,
No, Honorable James and Honorable Adams. Ons sê altyd ons hoor mekaar. Ons kinders watch ons. Honorable James, Honorable Adams has a right to opposition. When she says what she says and when she uses her time to say what she sees in the evidence, she has a right to say that. You might disagree. Allow her to finish. Then you respond. And equally so, Honorable James needs to allow you to respond. And you have your belief. But the way we do it, kom ons onthou net, ons het 'n groter responsibility. Ons se kinders kyk ons. And then chairperson, I know, knowing your heart, I know you didn't mean bad. But when South Africa watches us and you make statements like what you made earlier in reference to what it looked like and the narrative that is out there about coloreds and how they speak to each other, that was very offensive. And I would ask you, Chair, to please retract that and apologize too, because we are working very hard to make, especially the classified colored people in South Africa, believe that we are part of this country. We are one nation. We are not some confused race. We are interracially infused. Let's not push narratives like that. So I implore you, Chairperson, to please do so. Thank you.
no, you are very right, Honorable Member. The statement must not be misconstrued to mean exactly that, and I humbly retract it without any condition. Honorable Adams and Honorable James, I was supposed to be adjourning these proceedings by now. Can you please help us to go home? No.
I want to
I want Honorable James to make a statement. If she decides to address you,
I just want to apologize to the chairperson for speaking over him and to Honorable James for matching the energy chairperson.
apologies accepted.
Thank you,
And
Chairperson.
if she decides to address you for the remainder of her time, just look at her. And once her time expires, then I think everybody will go. And if she allows you time to respond, she will ask and look at you, you respond. But if she decides to address you, accept the address. Thank you. Go ahead, Honorable James.
Thank you so much, Chair. To get my trail of thought back now, Honorable Adams, you mentioned that PKTT members were staying in that hotel that was bought. I put it to you, I've done some research, and I unfortunately cannot disclose exactly what, because it's part of crime intelligence operations. But I'm saying to you that on the 6th of December, that was the last date when certain members of the PKTT was in Gauteng. So I ask you, do you have any evidence that can prove the allegation that you made?
Honorable James, how you get information from crime intelligence is not my business. But this is exactly what Mkhwanazi wants me locked up for. But let me say to you, my intelligence information, not intelligence, my information is that those people are staying at the hotel every time they're in Gauteng. I'm saying to you that I am requiring that this committee gets its hands on the financials of that hotel and the truth will be told. We don't need to revisit that every 5 minutes. Simply ask for the ledger and there can be no lies in it. It is that simple. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. I think all we would have wanted was maybe some evidence or some form of paperwork or an annexure of that sort, and that would have been okay. I'm going to move on to my next question. With regards to withholding evidence, right? You opened cases, but you did not hand over the documents initially, right? Page 3 of your testimony. On what legal basis did you withhold alleged evidence from SAPS?
Yeah, I couldn't cite your legal clause, but it just made common sense to me not to hand the top secret document over to the very first policeman you come in contact with. All I wanted to do was to wait for the investigating officer who normally contacts you within 24 hours, and I was going to hand it over. The fact that General Peter Jacobs then found fit to do away with my documents is not exactly my fault.
Right. Do you accept that opening cases without furnishing evidence could prejudice investigations?
When I promise in my statement that I will hand over the information to the investigating officer, no, ma'am.
Okay, here's the contrast. You accuse others of concealment and cover-ups, and yet you admit to withholding information and documents.
I admit to withholding information to give to the investigating officer, unlike the people who I'm accusing who seem to have benefited financially. That is the difference.
Allegations of Mr. Kat Matlala being a cash funnel, right? You say that you believe Mr. Matlala was a cash funnel for General Masemole. What documentary or what evidence, again, supports this statement?
I believe my statement said that he's a cash cow for the corruption, for the corrupt top management of the SAPS.
Again, do you have any evidence? Do you have any
Pussycat Mat-
affidavits? Do you have any reports? Do you have anything?
By admitting that he gave Becky Cele a
I'm
bribe in a
specifically
war.
referring to General Masemole.
No, ma'am. Read it to me.
You state you believe that Mr. Matlala was a cash
Which
funnel.
clause is that?
Page 11.
Which paragraph, sorry?
I don't have your testimony before me.
Okay. Right. As a matter of fact, I believe that it will soon be known that he was in fact the cash funnel of either General Fani Masimola or Becky Cele or both.
I'm still asking you, what evidence do you have?
You know, Vusikat Matlala essentially puts himself in jail by admitting to have given Becky Cele money in a wool's bag. I'm giving you the evidence.
I'm saying, yes,
Here we
we
go.
dealt with Mr. Adams. We dealt with Mr. Bekitele. We know that he gave you money, right? So I'm asking you about, you also mentioned General Masemole. So I'm asking, do you have anything on hand that can verify
You
that
don't have my
statement?
statement in front of you, so can I read it to you with understanding? Because whoever's feeding you information is only giving you half of it.
Nobody's feeding me information.
But then read the statement, because you have a copy of the statement. You're reading from your phone.
You've just read
I
page 11.
hold no brief or sympathy for Kat Matlala. I believe that international syndicates thrive on our shores, but I believe that Mr. Matlala's interest to the brass of the SAPS has little to do with cartels. As a matter of fact, I believe that it will soon be known that he was in fact the cash funnel of either General Fani Masimola or Becky Cele or both. That's what the statement says. Now, the reason Masimola becomes a part of this conversation for me is the 360 million rand tender that was awarded to this man, even when he knew it shouldn't have happened. The 50 million rand payment that was paid to this man, even when he knew it shouldn't have happened. And I'm saying I believe that in the very near future, it will be shown, or it may be shown. I'm not saying that, you know what, I saw with my own two eyes, Vusikat Matlala pay the man. Please, ma'am, do not misconstrue what I'm writing here.
You're changing your position. I'm going to move on.
I'm not changing anything. You wanted in the record that I changed my position.
Moving
I'm saying you can
my-
move on all along. That's fine. I'm quite Honorable James. You are trying to twist my words here, and I am sticking to my story. Sorry, Chairperson.
Honorable members.
Yeah.
No, no, no. No. I'm saying no, Honorable Adams. I'm saying no, Honorable James.
No, Chair, I'm not wrong this time. I'm so
You
patient.
cannot do this to ourselves.
I am so patient today.
Chairperson, as my statement stands, I'm being told that I'm changing my position. I think it's unfair.
You didn't wait for the question that went with that statement. You jumped me.
You let me read this thing 3 times. You didn't tell me there was more information.
I'm moving on.
Move along.
And we go ahead.
Yes, please.
Thank you, Chair. Change in your position, right? You state that you once admired General Mkhwanazi and believe that you should replace the National Commission. Am I correct? Okay, that's on page 13. What specific new evidence caused this complete reversal?
You know, I used to watch General Mkhwanazi on TV. I love tough cops. So I love General Andre Lincoln. So I used to love General Mkhwanazi. Now, I know that the charges I laid is the reason why General, amongst others, General Kumalo and General Lushaba is arrested. And then this man calls that press conference like weeks later. But the things he says about the politician with the member of parliament with the top secret information and the politicians, especially members of parliament that are shielding cartels. I know this is not true. I know I've broken no law. Immediately my position on this man changes. Why wouldn't it? Imagine I was to accuse you of something you didn't do. Your position on me would change as well. So I've got no reason to back this man. As a matter of fact, unless he gives us some type of proof of the stupid things he said on the 6th of July, he must come here and explain why else he called that press conference. Because everything that he said has now been discredited, in my view.
Your change in position, is it factual in nature or, like you've said, a disagreement in narrative?
The problem that I have is General Mkhwanazi has provided no facts. None. That's the problem right here.
And that is why we had witnesses before us that came with evidence.
The
Some
problem,
of them.
the problem that I have is so few witnesses actually came with evidence. Now, we must remember something. In any court of law, the burden of proof is on the accuser. Mkhwanazi took the stand and made accusations. The burden of proof is on the accuser. That is 100% true. In my case, when I laid the charges against Kumalo and co, the burden of proof was incumbent upon me. This is why I had to hand over documents. Now, what has happened since? I've got no control over.
You accused General Mkhwanazi of defamation, right? Have you instituted defamation proceedings?
You know, defamation under oath. He was brave enough to call out politicians at the press conference. When he came here, he was brave enough to admit he had no evidence against us. However, the narrative is out there. Diane Kohle-Barnard and I are apparently in bed with cartels. It was defamation, but I'm not stupid enough to waste money on court cases. That's not going to happen. You heard what he said. You heard what he said.
So you haven't laid any charges?
Why would I lay-
Irrespective of the seriousness?
Ma'am, why would I lay charges? The man is going to say, when I got to parliament, I retracted.
Let me show you the contrast here. You label this press conference a PR stunt, yet you make equally strong public accusations without court findings,
As do you.
without evidence.
As do you. There's quite a bit of that going around at the moment.
I'm just pointing it out to you.
No, I'm okay. You know, I don't think there's a single member in this house who's not a little bit hypocritical at times. So let's work together here. I do it, you do it, he does it. The problem is it's only okay when he does it.
Mr. Adams, today I expected you to come with evidence to back all of these allegations.
You know, Honorable James,
Everything is based on how you feel.
Honorable James, the purchase of the hotels, the evidence is with the chair. That's not how I feel. The breach in the SAPS media policy, it's with the chair. That's not how I feel. Please, don't play Mkhwanazi's game. Don't.
Oh, Mr. Adams, you're very dramatic.
I learned
you
from the
agree with
best.
me?
I watched it quite a bit.
Would you agree with me that many or most of your serious allegations are framed as personal belief? I believe, in my view, rather than supported by sworn, forensic, or documentary proof.
The biggest issue that I have is that I laid cases against top brass of SAPS. They are before the court. Those are the ones that Mkhwanazi wants reduced to HR issues. I am here defending my right to do the right thing.
In closing, do you accept that making such allegations in a parliamentary inquiry without conclusive evidence could in itself prejudice due process?
Let me ask you a question. Oh, wait, no, I'm not allowed to ask questions. Let me make a statement. I've brought 10 times more information than Mkhwanazi did. There, that's the fact.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable James.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Benevolent Chairperson.
Earlier on in the proceedings,
I think Honorable Skosana's hand was up, Chairperson.
yeah, no, I will go to him. Look at me. Earlier on in the proceedings, you said that former Speaker, Honorable Mkhwanazi, made a statement that General Mkhwanazi was absent during the 2021 uprisings.
Yes, Chairperson.
Where was that statement made?
The Mail and Guardian, Chairperson.
Eh?
I know we shouldn't trust newspapers, but I brought a copy of the Mail and Guardian with me for the committee, Chairperson.
What is the article saying?
Nkakulo very confused at lack of police intel during July unrest, and it just goes on to, it explains a spat with General Mkhwanazi. It was a very public thing. So I printed the copy for the committee, which I will happily give to the secretary, just to circulate, Chairperson.
But
You want me to read the article, Chairperson?
is it written anywhere in that article that the former speaker said he was absent?
They didn't print the article. This is not the whole article, Chairperson, but I can print the rest for you, and I'll email it to you tomorrow morning.
No, because you used her name there to say, even the former speaker said General Mkhwanazi was absent. So I just want to check.
She said absent, and also, hold on a second, that is in there. She was very uncooperative, and Becky Cele was apparently very confused. It's quite a lengthy article. I will print it for you.
No, I want to check, did she say it the way you put it here to say, during the 2021 uprisings in the country,
You know, Chairperson,
General Mkhwanazi was absent?
Chairperson, there are a few articles. I'll print them all. One of them does say he was absent. Absent is the word. I'll print them all for you.
You are being political. You're not answering my question.
Chairperson.
Because you made a statement here. You know, let me tell you why I'm asking this question. There are South Africans who are watching us every time during our proceedings. And when you make a statement, you mention the name of a person. And you don't have evidence of what you say.
You know, Chairperson, just because I don't have the whole article, let me retract. Let me retract for the sake of decency. But what I will say to you,
Not for the sake of peace.
no, for the sake of decency,
No,
it's the decent thing to
no,
do.
you-
Otherwise it becomes slander.
You say that I made that statement about the former speaker, and I'm unable to produce the article to which I made reference. And so I'm retracting the statement.
I will retract because I do not have the article with me, so I am unable to make reference, Chairperson.
And
I do apologize.
you apologize to her and her family,
I do apologize to her and her family,
and for the inconvenience that could have been caused.
and for the heat wave that's coming tomorrow, Chairperson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chair.
Advocate Mkhwanazi, do you have any question to ask? Your microphone is off.
Yes, Chair, I do have two questions, so I'll be very quick. So my first question is really, it's not a question, it's just a reminder, Mr. Adams, during your evidence in chief, I asked you about Brooklyn Police Station. Now, a lot has been said about what happened in Cape Town and what happened in Joburg. But the Brooklyn, we know that IDEC, you made also reference to charges that were laid at Brooklyn Police Station. You said you'll give us the background around
I
that.
actually went back in my head and I was contacted by the IDAC. I forget the name of the form that I was, there's a forms, documents I had to come in and fill in for them to open the case with my permission and on my behalf. That's what happened at Brooklyn.
Are you saying that they needed a charge to be laid in Brooklyn before they could open an investigation
Not
on
necessarily,
your behalf?
not necessarily in Brooklyn, but there were documents I needed to come and fill in. It looks almost like a form that you get at Home Affairs, lots of blocks. So I had to go there, fill that in, sign it, and that was that.
No, but what does it have to do with opening up docket at Brooklyn Police Station?
The IDAC, on my behalf and with my permission, went and opened the case.
So they opened the Brooklyn
Yes,
case,
ma'am.
not you?
No.
Okay. Then the other question is, Orlando Station. Why did you choose to go in all the way to Soweto to go and open up a case
Always loved
from Cape
Soweto.
Town?
I've always loved Soweto. And I love driving past there. And I decided to go there.
So you drove past all these stations?
All those.
So you're familiar with Orlando Station?
No, I wouldn't say familiar because I actually had to look for it. But there's two places in Joburg I love driving past. And I've never actually had the opportunity to really go in Soweto and Alex. And I wanted to drive past. And so I went there.
Okay, I have a third question.
Oh, God.
You've attached a statement from one of the accused persons of a cash in transit thing that happened, which related also to the death of Cindy Soul. And now in the statement, I'm not quite sure what the purpose of the statement was. And when we later go on to reflect on this, I just want to understand that we use the document for what you've intended, or at least we consider why you've included this in your bundle. At the very end of this statement, the deponent indicates that he says, with this statement, I want justice for the family of Cindy So and also for myself, and he wants the nation to know about his challenges with the criminal justice system. And so he goes forth about the things he wants. And the last paragraph, he says, what is upsetting is that I listened to a voice note from the ad hoc committee of General Mkhwanazi speaking to Shadrach and Kambinde, saying that criminal intelligence policemen must not be arrested even if they commit a crime. They must be placed elsewhere. And he said to not touch intelligence as they can burn the whole nation. What is the purpose of this statement and who was it intended for?
I actually wouldn't be able to tell you, Advocate. No, that is not my deposition. That is something that I attached because it's something that I know about. I think he's upset because I think he was promised things if he kept his mouth. I think. I didn't ask. Remember, this man does not speak a word of English, and I don't speak 2 words of Zulu. So there was a problem there. But I think he's very upset with certain generals who made him certain promises to kill Sindiso. Now, you know what upsets me about the death of Sindiso? His mother was promised justice. That man is in a little cell. He can be fetched right now to confess. But what are we told? Oh, it's under investigation.
Just the one more question on this.
Oh, we're not going to.
You traveled to KZN in November to assist, were you assisting him to get this affidavit deposed and signed?
Yeah.
So you must have had a reason why you traveled there to go and get the statement.
I actually went because I wanted to hear his story. Because I knew about the death of Sindisa Mahaka. I knew that him and Honorable Malema were very tight. I believe Honorable Malema to be a good man. And before Julius Malema gets shot, let's find out what happened here. And he gave me a statement, but it was in Zulu. So it was worthless to a man like me.
Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam. Thank you, Chair. I'm done.
Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. No. You know, I get irritated, Chair, when I have to speak and then he makes some gestures here. I need your protection.
We start, Honorable Skosana. I
No, Chair.
recognized.
You gave me an opportunity here to speak and somebody is whispering behind me.
Did you
And I don't want to point him because he'll be embarrassed. But let me go on, Chair. That I just want to make a statement to you that it should not be misquoted here that you should not open a case against anyone in this country. I'm as a member of parliament, I can do that. I've done that before. And I've been blamed by Minister Mkhwanazi and General Spear. I've done that. Now, the issue that we are here to test these allegations on Mr. Adams. You know, the way you obtain what you said to us, we are testing that. You know, but it should not be misquoted here to say, no, there's something wrong. No, there's nothing wrong. The issue which we are testing, like any other witness, is to find out the truth. Because as I'm sitting here, you know, I'll say ambiguous, perhaps it's an understatement. You know, I've got mixed feelings with your testimony. You know, you said many things. You know, we are testing everyone, and we are not casting aspersion. We want to get the truth, because we have to make a report as a committee to Parliament. Now, my last one was that you said, I wanted to find out who contacted you from IDEC.
It was Brigadier. Hij zei Perumal.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Do we still have any other honorable member who wants to speak? Okay, I don't see any hand. Honorable Adams and your beloved family and your comrades and friends, we want to thank you so much for coming and for having come and spent the hours that you did with us. We want to thank you so much. And on your behalf, I must thank these people for the support that they have given you. Thank you so much, honorable members.
Chair,
Tomorrow.
I like the color of the file of Honorable Adams.
Yeah.
My second favorite color.
Tomorrow, honorable members, is 10 o'clock. Thank you so much. The proceedings have come to an end. At the same venue.
Chairperson, am I dismissed? Am I dismissed?
Yeah, you are released. You are no longer under oath.